Kris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome. And happy Sunday. Excuse me. I'm having a Wendy Williams moment. I'm coughing on camera. It's your boy, Kris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Happy Sunday, everybody. How y'all doing? It's a show basically where we go and talk about all the latest going on in celebrity news, hot topics, pop culture, whatever's trending. We chat about it on this good old show of mine. So before we get started, I'm just sitting here adjusting everything. I am a mess already. I was like, okay, oh, well, my camera fell earlier. So now I'm just like adjusting at the last minute. But anyway, so before we get started, can you please hit that like button, that subscribe button, excuse me, and also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. And we have we're doing pretty much a short show today because I know I said I was going to give you all a show, but I have a good reason why and I'll never do shows this late. Remember the last time I did a show this late, I used to do a show with, where I had a producer, and on Saturdays we'd be doing shows at fucking like 11, midnight, 1 in the damn morning, trying to get stuff started. But I got caught up in a marathon of that show from, bitch, when I tell you that show was giving me my life. So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I need to put a show together. So that's what I was doing all day between trying to find entertainment news and gossip to catch up on because I was busy yesterday. So I was working on stuff on my website. I was binging from, which I only got through the first season. There's 2 more I got to go because I think season 3 just dropped this week. And thank the Lord for Prime Video, because who the hell has MGM Plus? And it gets on my nerves with all these networks be trying to have streaming services. And then you got to go here, there, and everywhere to try to watch stuff. And then people talk about things that's underrated. You can't find that nowhere. I'm like, yeah, because there's like 50,000 streaming services. Well, y'all need to put everything in one place. See, now if it was on Netflix, it'd probably be the #1 show in the world right now. But if y'all get the chance, definitely check that show out. And Evil, which just ended its run. But that's, I know, currently streaming on Netflix and Prime Video. So I've been trying to tell everybody about that. So, we got some tea to spill. We need to give, I have an update on the Emily Armstrong, Linkin Park drama and all that other stuff and her ties with Scientology. We talked a little bit about that in the last show. She did speak out. I have the, her statement and all that other stuff. Plus, of course, a couple hours ago, Kendrick Lamar was announced to be the Super Bowl halftime headliner. And of course, people have problems with the choice because they felt like there'd need to be people from Nolans that should have been picked instead of somebody from Compton. I mean, quiet as it's kept, Jay-Z always be picking people that ain't from places to be repping shit, except when he did LA. He had to have reps out there. He wasn't going to play in Dr. Dre phase, I guess, because they were all connected with Apple Music and all that other stuff. But we'll get into that. Plus, I remember I told y'all the other day I was going to get y'all that Ryan Seacrest story. Well, bitch, I got it. And it was a cackle, but we're going to break it down. That he's petrified that his exes will spill his bedroom secrets after Julianne Hough recently came out in an interview and belittled his masculinity. Now, speaking of belittling, Mariah Carey's Billionaire ex, James Packer, is spilling tea about their relationship, why they broke up. First of all, he's revealing why he's no longer friends with Tom Cruise. And also that he said that the reason why he and Mariah broke up because Mariah felt like he was out here spilling her business to the press. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got to give a congratulations to Selena Gomez, who is the latest musician to cross over into the Billionaire club, via her beauty line. I told y'all that red beauty line was the bee's knees out here in these streets. So much so that they from what I heard from some of my beauty friends, my friends that work in the beauty industry, they already removed Hannaford's beauty line from Sephora and all of that. Because I remember I said at the end of the year they were supposed to remove it. It's already gone. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we got a lot of drag news and not just drag race. So we have RuPaul Drag Race Child, his 8-year winning streak was just dethroned by none other than my good Judy Allen Cumming. So we got to talk about that because he won the Emmy last night. Plus, we got sad news about We're Here. The cast reveal of Drag Race España came out a couple of hours ago. So we got to talk about that. Plus, Shudder, Dragula was announced literally after I think we was done with the show 2 days ago. So we have the we don't know who the queens, the drag monsters is going to be on the show, but I do have the list of celebrity judges that are going to be sitting alongside Dragmorta and Swantula Boulay on the Boulay Brothers when that show airs in October 1st. So we got that and a whole lot more. If there's anything, of course, that pops up in the meantime, you know what to do. Slide on up in the comments and we'll talk about it. So we leave it open. That's why I always do a live show. So that way y'all can just, tell me whatever it is you want to talk about. We talk about it on this here show. So let me hit my banner. Let's look at the comments. Robert is here in the building. Said thoughts on the contrary of Jay-Z being petty. Well, we're going to talk about that with the whole Kendrick situation. Okay, and then, we definitely got to talk about that whole, because that was a cackle. Well, one of the Scientologists done outed Catherine Bell from Jag. I'm gonna say drag, and what's his name? And John Travolta. We all knew John was a big old queen. And I don't know how y'all be up in here in Scientology, but it's no different than them religious people that just be all up in the church where they homosexuals, and they be self-hating, but be up in there with their tambourine tap dancing with Jesus. Well, the white man's colonizing religion that they done took from Greek mythology, quiet as it's kept. They say, I remember Glow was the first pop star premiere fragrance, a pioneer only to be dethroned by Britney Spears. Wait, who was, J-Lo was Glow. I'm like, wait, who's Glow? I forgot all about that. And at one point, Britney Spears was out here doing fragrances, or then all of a sudden, everybody and their mama was getting in the beauty brand situation and the fashion lines and all that other stuff. So, it's been going on for a while. For over 2 decades, you see a lot of people. Well, actually, who would be the first one to ever get in the perfume line? Would it be Elizabeth Taylor with White Diamond? I'm sure she did it before that. But anyway, let's get to our first topic. Let's talk about Linkin Park. So right after, the other day when we did the show, I talked about how I gave my overall thoughts on the whole Linkin Park coming back. They got a new album coming out in November called From Zero. In a couple of days, they're actually going to be hitting the road for I believe, 6-date world tour, which is going to be relatively interesting. And then we saw well, I don't know if y'all saw the live stream, but I actually watched the live stream of them performing their brand new song, and then they performed a lot of the old hits. And the reviews on Emily Armstrong coming in was mixed. But me personally, I already stated that I feel that going with a female singer was the perfect choice. If they were going to come back, bring a girl in to actually sing those songs, she could bring a sense of nuance and emotions that I don't think any other male singer could have done. I mean, there could have been male singers out there who could have probably done a phenomenal job coming in as a co-singer, but I feel like any male singer would have just been raked over the coals and you wouldn't have had a chance to prove yourself over the fact that, with Chester Bennington. So but the reviews are mostly mixed. There are some people that have no issue with Emily being part of the band. There are people who do have a problem with the band. I mean, with her being part of the band. I personally did not have a problem with her, but then when I started hearing this stuff about her and her ties to Scientology and how she was out there basically scaring fear, like being a part of that pack that was in the whole Danny Masterson trial, because she is a Scientologist. She's someone who's born into Scientology, from what I had discovered after watching this guy. And I did link his YouTube channel for the video of it, because he put out another one today. He put a 30-minute one out, but there was one that I think he dropped yesterday that I happened to come across, and he was breaking down the whole thing. But I think he is someone who was in Scientology. It's a YouTube channel called Growing Up in Scientology. He breaks the whole situation down. He talked a lot about, Emily and her apology and things going on in Scientology, and like the things that a lot of them are what they do within that world. Which I'm like, child, that was scary, because I told her they tried to get my ass when I was in LA. But when you start hearing all these videos and stuff, watching all these videos and hearing all these horror stories, I was like, you're not going to have me with sea orcs and Xenu and all that other weird shit that y'all be doing, and having people doing slave labor and cleaning bathrooms. And then you get in a relationship, and then you can't even see the person that you are in a relationship with. They over here in the same building working, and y'all can't see each other. You can't speak to each other. Like that what are y'all doing? Like, it's just the whole mental breakdown that they do where they try to deprogram you and make you into nothing, which was just the overall irritation for me. So I was like, y'all not trying to do that, and then going to try to give e-meters and all that weird shit when you want to try to figure out, okay, like my mental capacity and the fact that if I'm a homosexual, you got a problem with me being homosexual. But the funny part was when the guy goes in the video and there's timelines and stuff when you watch the video, and he was up in there, he was like, I don't know how y'all could be a part of a church that denounces homosexuality and hates the gays. And he said, Catherine Bell from JAG. And I was like, yeah, as tall as stature as she is. I said, I'm surprised she eat the cat. And then you had, and then you got John Travolta, who we all knew she was a big old woman for eons. I mean, there's been many a tabloids that has caught him making out with men. But I guess if you like it, I love it. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But since then, of course, but this whole drama that came out with Emily, she had to get ahead of it and speak about it. But I feel like her speech was a bunch of BS. It's typical BS, PR mess, whatever, that I've believed, like based off of what I've been reading up on. She had to get that Instagram story post or whatever that she did, because she put it in the story. She didn't put it on her damn page, which I think is lame as hell, because that's something that only lasts 24 damn hours. And we could all screenshot it and create articles on it. But if you really mean what you say about you denouncing yourself from situations, you could have put it on your main page or whatever the case was. But I'm sure she had to go through whoever, because I'm sure she's still tied to Scientology. So if she, with all of that being said, somebody within in that church had to go and read whatever it was that she put out to prove it. As long as she's not saying anything negative about the church, then she's good. But this, in my opinion, looks bad on the band when they're trying to make a comeback. Because it was already drama that people were saying, well, why is the original drummer not a part of the group? And he said, and then according to Mike Shinoda, who just seems to like to give vague Katy Perry type of answers when it comes to controversial things that's going on, try to skirt past whatever the issues are. People are mad at him because they're like, okay, so y'all not even trying to honor Chester. You basically brought in a new drummer because the original was like, according to Mike, he wanted to move on to other things and he wasn't interested in being part of the band anymore. And we wish him the best. That's your typical PR answer. And then it was like, well, it was, he started to distance himself once they did the re-release of their debut album as Linkin Park, with Chester being a part of Linkin Park. Because Linkin Park had been around long before Chester was a part of it. Well, some iteration of it. Because they've been a band since the 90s. Until before Chester joined. So the original drummer was like one of the founding members, along with Mike. But the way it's just like, okay, they need to keep the show going on. And it's great if you want to keep, if the show must go on, whatever the case is. But my thing is, well, before I get to my opinion, let's get to the story according to Rolling Stone, because they said new Linkin Park singer Emily Armstrong has responded to claims that she supported Danny Masterson during the convicted actor's SA trial. Now, on Friday, hours after Armstrong premiered as Linkin Park's new vocalist, the Mars Volta's Cedric Bixler Zavala turned to social media to resurface claims that Armstrong, then the singer of, I think she still is part of the band Dead Sarah, actually, showed up to support him in the prelims ahead of Masterson's trial in 2020. Bixler Zavala's wife, Chrissy Carnell Bixler, was one of the several women who accused Masterson of SA, saying, and this is a recap of what we talked about in the last show. His thing was, he said, I'm surprised none of you wrote a letter on Danny Masterson's behalf since your corny ass singer showed up to support him in the prelims. Remember, Emily? Remember how your fellow Scientologist goon squad surrounded one of the Jane Does when she was trying to leave the elevators? The court sheriffs had to escort her away from your awful cult, Bixler Zavala wrote to Armstrong, who does have ties to the Church of Scientology. He said, remember when we did the purification rundown, Emily? Were you directed to say point me because of what my wife knew? Why can't you shut your mouth during a detox program when people are going through some rough-ish, but your corny ass is singing like an unsupervised child? Is it because you're born in, it says you're born in Scientologist that gets a pass? I think he meant to say, is it because you're born in Scientology that you get a pass? But here I go being the English teacher. So he goes, how do you reconcile the homophobia found in the teachings of LRH's book, Dianetics? That would be L. Ron Hubbard, for those of you who don't know. And I did see a joke that I did cackle at where somebody said, now Linkin Park is now going to call themselves L. Ron Hubbard Way or something or another. When I saw that tweet, I did have a cackle. I had to screenshot that and actually post it on my social media too. So it says, do your fans know about your friend Danny Masterson, your rapist friend? He had ragefully written. Now, hours after Billittled post, Armstrong did address the situation in her IG stories, writing that her support of Masterson only spanned the one hearing and that she became convinced of the actor's guilt soon after. And I do believe that she got a part of it because, when you are part of the church, you're supposed to go along to get along. They tell you, okay, you need to go out and you need to support and you need to do this. If you don't do this, they're probably going to punish you or whatever the case is. So she knew what she was doing. And I feel like her apology, she could have came out a better way at it. But here's what she said. She goes, hi, I'm Emily. I'm new to so many of you, and I wanted to clear the air about something that happened a while back. Several years ago, I was asked to support someone I considered a friend at a court appearance and went to one early hearing as an observer. Soon after, I realized I shouldn't have. I always tried to see the good in people. Well, you could have fooled me because I don't even think that's how that church rolls, but whatever, based off the things I've heard. Now, it says, soon after I realized I shouldn't have. I always try to see the good in people, and I misjudged him. I've never spoken with him since. Unimaginable details emerged, and he was later found guilty. To say it as clear as possible, I do not condone abuse or violence against women, and I empathize with the victims of these crimes. Now, here's the thing. Now, why didn't she mention Danny's name at all in this post? And number two, why didn't she say, I apologize for harassing and putting this overwhelming amount of fear into the Jane Does who had said that they were abused by Danny Masterson? Why didn't she apologize to them? Because you participated in the foolishness when you showed up there during the pandemic, of course, because they had to have the mask and everything. But when you're there harassing people, which is what a lot of these people do, and then it was some tea about them killing killing a dog. But I think that was I don't remember exactly who the dog was, but it probably says it in his article. So it goes on to say, in a separate social media post on Friday, Chrissy Carnell Bixler called Armstrong a hardcore Scientologist who supported convicted serial R-word both in and out of court, saying Emily Armstrong is a true believer of the Scientology cult/criminal organization that engages in human and child trafficking, child and elder abuse, the cover-ups of countless SAs on children and adults. So this is the type of stuff, according to not only them, but I also believe that Leah Remini has revealed this. And from what I was hearing based on that growing up in Scientology video, they was the guy implied, I forgot his name, but he went and said that Leah Remini, I believe, was shopping around a Danny Masterson documentary. I believe he also said without the victims being included. But we all know if y'all go into a video or any kind of documentary where you're talking about abuse of any kind, you need to get the people that were abused to show up. Why do you think we sat and watched, the thing about Nickelodeon? There were people who were abused that spoke out, including Drake Bell. So you can't do a documentary without the victims being attached. I don't want to just hear all the alleged things that Danny Masterson did. We need the Jane Does to come out and speak as well. The trial's over. His ass is in jail for 3 decades. He ain't getting out. Bijou done moved her ass on. That would be his wife, who filed for divorce right after his ass got convicted. But she stood by his side the entire time. But I understand that's all, we got to stand in solidarity with my husband, blah, blah, blah. But now it's, now that he's going to be in jail and she ain't never going to see his ass again, now she has to distance herself. And I heard Bijou already moved on. Now, they said Armstrong herself did not address her ties to Scientology or the allegations against the church in her statement, but added the whole thing about she not condoning the abuse of the violence, blah, blah, blah. Now, I do feel that this is going to be bad on Linkin Park. I understand, I've heard that people went and hit up Linkin Park to get some type of thing or like a response, they referred the press to her Emily's statement. To me, that statement was about as empty as all get out. So that wasn't a good thing to do. And I understand that, you know what, Linkin Park is of a certain age. Y'all ain't that damn old. Y'all in your late 40s. So get it with the program in regards of how PR and all that other stuff works. Y'all are on a major label. You're trying to make this big comeback. You're trying to get people in the good graces of accepting this new person within a group, especially when a lot of the fans feel away because of you bringing somebody new in after Chester Bennington unalived himself. So that's already, you're on rocky waters. Now you've got this girl that's got all this controversy surrounding her. And it's sort of like, okay, so how are we going to spin this? So Linkin Park need to come out and speak out. Otherwise, I don't know if the people is going to come out and support, but we'll see when it comes down to their arena tours that they're about to go on, if people even care. How are the tickets doing? Because y'all did reveal this at the last daggone minute, literally last week, but y'all expecting tickets to sell out? I guarantee you, if these tickets aren't really doing all that well, they're probably going to drop that stuff down to like $25. This is just to sell out the joints. So my overall thought is that, look, she may have broken her silence to cool down the controversy, but in her letter, which, you know, as I said, based off the video I watched from ex-Scientologists, had to be approved by the church for it to be released, doesn't really take accountability for her participation in harassing the Jane Does during Danny's trial. Now, to me, it feels like an empty non-apology apology. This also looks bad, as I said, on Linkin Park for hiring a singer who is part of a cult that will be covering songs sung by a victim of child abuse when he is a part of a church that condones it. Because isn't a lot of those songs that Chester had wrote about was about the abuse he endured as a child? I'm not sure if he was sexually abused. I believe he was, but he talks about how he was abused and all the, you know, the traumas of his childhood that I don't feel like he could escape. So you can't be up in here singing, crawling in my skin, these wounds, they will not heal, when you are the one inflicting it as being a part of a church that inflicts them wounds on a lot of people, particularly women and children and elderly, as was stated in this article. So when people are close to an individual, you know, I understand that they don't want to believe that they would be capable of any kind of abuse, because I don't know what I would do with that type of position. But my thing is, present me with the evidence. Let me know what the tea is, and if you are guilty, yes, I am disassociating myself from you, because I'm not. I have no tolerance for any kind of abuse. So I'm not going to say, I can't sit and say that you know people well or whatever the case is, because you don't know what people are capable of. But if any one of my friends, I found out, S8 anybody, children, women, kids, green, old people, whatever, abused or unalive somebody, I'm not associating myself with you. I can't condone that. I'm distancing myself. Like, we ain't friends anymore. I'm sorry. That's my overall situation. Like, you immediately getting chopped. But like I said, if the evidence is laid out on the table clear as day, you know, she needs to figure out a way to distance herself from this situation. So yeah, if y'all get a chance, definitely check out that YouTube show, Growing Up in Scientology. I learned a hell of a lot in regards of, you know, some of the stuff that goes on in that church, especially learning more about her and her background, because I didn't know any of this other stuff. And I kind of wonder also, did she even have, well, not did she have an idea? Did the members of Linkin Park, before they decided to choose her as the lead singer, because yeah, she's the closest that we have to bringing something new and fresh, interesting ideas to the like rejuvenating, reigniting, re-energizing Linkin Park. But is it worth it when it comes to the cost of her being caught up in all this drama, especially being attached to a church that is fairly dangerous and does a lot of crazy stuff to a lot of people, harassments, all kinds of, like Leah Remini tells the tea. So I say all this to say, what do you think of this story? Because I feel like she could lead a church at any time, but I doubt that she'll even do that. Do you think that Linkin Park needs to just denounce her and remove her from the group? Or I guess it's too late, because they got a new album coming out in November. I'm sure the album's done. It's in the mixing stage. They're about to go on tour, meaning they're just doing like a little 6-date world tour in 2024, but in 2025 they're going to do a bigger tour. So we'll see if people care. So if you care or don't care, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so oh yeah, we read that one. Yeah, Onyx, it is a late show. Say what now? Yeah, it's a late show. I was planning. Look, I guess you missed my open. It was like I was gonna do an earlier show, but I was watching this show called Evil on Prime Video, because normally it's on MGM Plus. First of all, I don't know who is a subscriber to MGM Plus. I think that comes like if you got cable, but since MGM is a part of Prime, I see like Prime sometimes the streaming services, they will pull shows from other things and put them on networks. Because Netflix has been doing it lately too, especially with a lot of the AMC Plus shows. That's how I caught up on Daryl Dixon. I don't care about the other shows. I can't stand Fear the Walking Dead. I try to get into the Negan and Maggie show. That show was stupid. It's like, and I didn't even like when I love Rick and Michonne, but that damn first season was trash. So the only show out of all the Walking Dead spin-offs that I like is Daryl Dixon. That's the only show I'm looking forward to in season 2. The rest of them shows can kick rocks. And I love me some what is it? Interview with a Vampire Child? That is the gayest show on TV. And I live for every damn moment of that. So, but then so Netflix is showing all those shows. So that's how I'm catching up, because I told you I don't have cable. And so that's the only way I can watch a lot of these shows. And they have this other show in there called Gangs of London. If y'all have not seen that show, y'all definitely need to check that show out. It's like The Sopranos with martial arts. So I was living for that show and how violent it is. It's funny because the guy who created that show was behind the show, actually did The Raid and The Raid 2. And if you like stuff like that, you'll definitely love that. But yeah, so I started watching I was like, bitch, where have I been with this show? They're on season 3. So I'm trying to binge it before before Prime Video pulls a stunt and they decide to pull all the damn episodes and I won't get to see it. So I'm trying to binge it before the end of September. And so far it's good. It's like a cross between Lost and like, I don't know. I don't know what them creatures are. They vampires. They be ripping you apart, and eating you, and all kinds of stuff. I don't know what these damn creatures are. Where the hell they come from? That's probably why it's called From, because we try to figure out where the fuck they come from. But I say all that to say, it's a good show. And if y'all have not seen that, check it out. That and Evil. That's another one too. I just started catch up on that, and I feel bad because they just canceled it. So now I'm trying to get into it. First of all, wait a minute now. You said my husband got a new album coming out. Okay, JC, it's about damn time. It took you like 20 years to release a follow-up to, what was the name of the album? Schizophrenic. Look, y'all already know. If y'all be following me on social media, y'all know I go hard for Schizophrenic. It's always justice for Schizophrenic. I be windmilling hard for that JC Chazé album, because everybody else out here want to talk about Justin Timberlake. Fuck that bastard. Fuck him. I was watching this other video, and I'm not even gonna mention his name because I be feeling like he be gaslighting people on YouTube with his headlines, and then I be sitting there watching it, and I be like, "That's all you had to say? Like, stop wasting our damn time with your little gaslight." And then while I watch is a bunch of nothing. Talking about some story about Jay-Z. That Justice trash because one of the kids in an old interview that Britney did, one of the baby names that she said she was going to get, and they said this was around the time when she, unalived the baby, what she revealed in the book, said that she had 2 names that she was going to name one of her children. One of them was Brennan, and they said that Justin has a dog at the time that he named Brennan. So you go and name your dog after, give your dog the name that Brittany was going to give one of your children that she may have unalived. I'm like, that's a reason to hate Justin Timberlake. That's one of the many reasons, but we already don't like him over here. That's what it said. But not surprising from well, but not surprised. Hey, Brown Bunny, he said, well, but not surprising from a Scientologist, that weird masochistic cult. It's time to find a new singer, to be honest. And that's why I said, I don't know how y'all didn't dot all your I's and cross all your T's and vet, because you know how the internet works. You already know people gonna come out and say something. And it's funny because none of the internet sleuths did this digging. It was the lead singer from the Mars Volta who was well known. And what I didn't know was that he was close with Chester Bennington. He and Chester were thick as thieves. So that's probably why he came out and said what he said, because he was overall bothered by all of this. Madonna started preaching Kabbalah, but still studies it. But she saw what happened with science. Yeah, she definitely needs to stop doing all that, because, and kind of, in no shade, but I used to think that Kabbalah was similar to Scientology at one point. Like that. I mean, I get it. You want to do the whole Judy, what it, I almost said judicial. You want to study Judaism and mysticism and all that other stuff. And I'm like, that's cute or whatever, but yeah, I do think like celebrities need to kind of keep that religious stuff to themselves. I heard a lot of people have left Scientology since then, which is a good thing, because being a part of that damn church, you're gonna end up in a world of hurt. All they want to do is keep your ass enslaved and you paying them money. What the fuck am I paying all this money for you for? But then if you decide to leave, your family has to denounce you, which is what I'm going to talk about when we get to Mariah's ex, James Packer, who's spilling all this tea about them. I didn't even know he was a Scientologist at one point. So it's going to be a kind of sort of a Scientology day. Yeah, it is the new Epics. They said Epics was denied a lot of platforms because HBO, Showtime, and others existed. We don't need Epic. First of all, I don't remember. Okay, once upon a time, I did used to watch Epics. That was like when I used to live at home and I had cable. But I'm like, when you can't even, is Epic still around? Now it's just like, MGM Plus, I guess you would have to, I don't even know where you could find that. I guess you got to have cable to watch it. But if it's to me, if MGM is part of Prime Video, then why don't you have Prime Video just outsource the stuff, the shows? He said, yes, Jewish mysticism. Yeah, and according to one of her dancers, she said that the new one's gonna be on Epic. So I'm like, child, do you even know if Epic still exists? It's like, ma'am, she don't know what that damn show. I mean, what her new what is it, celebration tour is gonna end up. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Kendrick Lamar, who it was announced today that he is going to be the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime in 2025. And of course, you know, the people's is mad. But I say congratulations to Kendrick, who was the chosen one. I would, no shade, but I did not think that Kendrick was going to be the choice to do Super Bowl. I didn't even know. I mean, I know everybody been sitting there talking about Taylor Swift, but look, Taylor Swift is not going to be performing no damn Nolans for this whole thing. Even though there's nothing wrong with Nolans, but I did not see. Look, Taylor Swift's so busy with this Eras tour, she ain't got time to be doing no little Super Bowl. So they said Kendrick Lamar will perform at the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl LIX halftime show. Rock Nation, Apple Music, and the NFL announced today, which would be Sunday. Super Bowl LIX is scheduled to be played on February 9th, 2025 at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans that will air on Fox. The performance will be Lamar's second during the halftime show, following his featured spot during Dr. Dre's 2022 All-Star tag team of Lamar, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and 50 Cent. And y'all remember when we talked about it on the show the last time, 50 Cent said that, see, this is where I was saying like Joe Camel, aka Jay-Z, be out here being messy, because look, 50 Cent revealed not too long ago that Joe Camel did not want him to perform at the thing because I guess they had some sort of beef. But Eminem stepped in and was like, oh no, you're not going to disrespect my friend like that. So he said, if you're not going to allow 50 to perform, then I'm not performing. And so, of course, he gave in because he knows he needs that draw. Because quiet as it's kept, as much as I like all these other artists, as much as I like Mary J. Blige and Snoop Dogg, who will show up at an envelope opening at this point in his career, and I like Kendrick Lamar, y'all not enough to get people to watch that Dr. Dre situation. Dr. Dre ain't even that interesting. He was always behind the scenes with his stuff because he's a producer and will come in every now and again and say his little written raps. Because he was another Diddy. I don't write rhymes, I write checks. But you had all these other people, and it's like, yeah, they cute or whatever in their own right. But yeah, Eminem and 50 Cent being a part of that was going to be the extra icing on the cake. So they said it also follows the Mars music battle with Drake earlier this year. So I do wonder if he's going to perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl. That would be a cackle, and you better perform that too. So they also said that his music battle with Drake this year not only resulted in a recording win for the Compton-born rapper, but one of the biggest songs with Not Like Us. That spirit continues with Lamar's statement about the move, saying rap music is still the most impactful genre to date, and I'll be there to remind the world why. They got the right one. And here's the thing. I like Kendrick. Um, I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite rappers, but yeah, I definitely go hard whenever his stuff comes on. DNA, I'll be snapping my neck to that damn song. So they said Rock Nation founder, Jay-Z, said this. Kendrick Lamar is truly a once in a generation artist and performer. His deep love for hip hop and culture informs his artistic vision. He has an unparalleled ability to define and influence culture globally. Kendrick's work transcends music, and his impact will be felt for years to come. Well, so we got to go to the comments because the people was mad. And I went over to the neighborhood talk and I saw it, and Rihanna liked the post. So I know they was gagging over that. So loyalty, loyalty, loyalty is what one person said. Another person went and said, because I know there's a lot of people that is mixed about this. Some people don't even like the fact that Kendrick is performing because they feel like, well, how you gonna have somebody from Compton performing in New Orleans when you could have had Young Money up in there? I don't know. Does he have beef? Because I don't be sitting here following all these hip hop beefs like that. But apparently, does he have beef with Young Money where he couldn't have Wheezy up in there performing? Or, who else? I was gonna say Trick Daddy, but Trick Daddy's from Miami. Oh my God, why can't I remember his damn name? C Murder Brother. Look, Romeo Daddy. Y'all gotta help me out in the comments. I don't know how I forgot Romeo Daddy name. But anyway, so yeah, he was all upset too in regards of what was going on in regards of not being, them being picked or whatever the case was. And there's no shade, but I don't think Lil Wayne is that good of a live performer. He don't really give me like real good. Like, yeah, we know he's a legend. He's got a lot of hits. He's got a lot of good songs. But as far as like stage presence goes, he's a mess. But I did see Honor saying that. Could you imagine if he brings out Big Frida? You already know that would be something too if he would have brought out if he would have brought out Big Frida, because you can't do New Orleans without having Big Frida. And I do care. I mean, I do believe that y'all should be representing a lot of those New Orleans rappers or people from that area to rep that whole situation. And hopefully Kendrick does bring some of those people out so that way they have their moment. But I guess what Jay-Z be thinking about is pomp and circumstance. He wants a show. And don't get me wrong, because we've seen Kendrick Lamar ignite a stage. When he has performed at the Grammys, whatever the case was, he has definitely given a good show. He has his dancers up there. He'll bring that black excellence. Like, he could bring like some real good choreography and some, a lot of flames and fire and all kinds of pyro and all the other stuff in there. So I do think that he has what it takes to really turn out a good show out in New Orleans. But some of the people said Jay-Z have an issue with Young Money with his demonic self. Another person said, we don't care. Her performance wasn't worth watching either. Saying because, like I said, Rihanna liked the post of Kendrick Lamar, in the Super Bowl, about his announcement about him performing, not hosting. I'm not thinking about hosting, probably because I just said the Grammys. But yeah, so basically that, and they said LMAO, she can't show love. Well, people are always going to be in the comments hating. The other person said, my belief is Jay-Z would have let Wayne do it, but he knows Wayne would have probably brought Drake and or Birdman, and Jay don't really rock with them. Just like like I said, he ain't rock with 50 Cent. But I guess because Eminem, as powerful as he is, he could pull that rank. I don't know if Wayne can do that. I don't know if all these other artists that they're mentioning, Birdman, got that kind of power and influence. Where it's like, okay, if they're not seen in the thing, I don't think people are gonna get that upset, except for if you were in a certain part of the United States. And then another person said, I didn't realize this would cause so much ruckus. I do agree with that. I did not think that it was going to do that it was going to cause a lot of drama. And then they always talking about that her performance was horrible. Well, look, Rihanna ain't never gave y'all Beyonce in regards of like a good show performance. Okay, I don't know why I can remember. Now I remember Master Damn P. I don't know how it took me that long to remember Master P name. Because he went and said that he believes Wayne should have been been included in performing at the Super Bowl. So we got to give our legends their flowers while they are here. And I don't like the fact that, I understand Jay-Z, Rock Nation, whatever, and we still got our politics in regards of how the NFL treats black folks and bending the knee and all that other mess, and, how the ratings have been in the toilet. But this is why they've been banking so much on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce with the whole, trying to save the NFL. That's why they put her on the damn Jumbotron every 5 damn seconds. Sidebar, I just saw that Travis Kelce and Taylor is in New York because they were at the U.S. Open. Which is not too far from me, by the way. Damn, I should have went over there. But it was like, yeah, they was up in there living their best life. She was all over her man, and he was loving every minute of it. Basically trying to prove to y'all that they not splitting up. But let's read a couple more of the comments that we can get off this. So they said Kendrick was just announced. Why isn't everyone just being patient to see if Kendrick brings him out? And that's another thing too. Is like y'all people be so quick to jump in the comments to just rant and rave. Why y'all pick him? Why you ain't pick this one? Why you ain't pick that one? Y'all never wait to see how a show is done and then criticize. Y'all want to jump before the gun before we get, before the bullet is let out the chamber. Y'all do the same thing when it comes to music. You do the same thing. Well, not with music. We'll stick with the movies. Y'all do the same thing. Y'all watch a trailer. You see a still of them working on a set, shooting something that hasn't even been put through the special effects. All that stuff been added. Y'all criticize. Oh, this movie gonna be terrible. How the fuck you know? So it's like just wait until the finished product is put out for the world to see and then criticize. Let's wait till February of 2025 and then we can criticize on whether or not, whoever he brings out of his performance was trash. Just like we all waited, or did we wait, when Rihanna got up there with her big old belly, doing her little half two-step, which is basically what she was doing when she wasn't pregnant. But then y'all realized she wasn't that good of a performer, and I had to cackle because earlier I saw that people were talking about, oh, they don't like Ice Spice because her energy was given the bare minimum. I'm like, where the fuck y'all been? She been giving y'all the same performance since she first came out. Now y'all starting to notice she getting a bare minimum? So that's why I was like, just wait until this whole situation. And just some people said, okay, Usher wasn't from Vegas and he put on a show. Why y'all acting so damn territorial? Another person put, y'all know this ain't the first time the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, right? We all know, another person put, we all know Jay-Z didn't want Wayne to bring out Nicki. And oh, here we go. We always got to have somebody in the goddamn comments or at the neighborhood tour that want to drag Nicki name or something. Nicki on tour. She ain't worried about this shit right now. She was just at the Garden yesterday. So it's I really don't want to hear Not Like Us for the whole entire time. Well, why y'all see now? What you're not going to do is just basically demote Kendrick to just Not Like Us. He has way more songs than that. So you played yourself. So I guess we could wrap this up by saying, I will say this. Kendrick Lamar, in my opinion, is one of the most important and influential rappers out right now. And I like his music. I like what he stands for. He has won a total of 17 Grammys since coming out in 2012. So that's 12 years that he's been in the game. I'm sure he was making music long before that, but I'm talking about like what we are aware of him. So the past 12 years, he has won a total of 17 Grammy Awards. His music is very influential in regards to like the stuff he says. I've heard many stories about how he's like a real one, where he's just not like one of these fake ass hip hop posers that be out here just doing stuff for attention, whatever the case was. So I'm definitely, in my opinion, I'm excited. I don't sit up and get all territorial when it comes to, well, this one, you should have had this one working with, we in this state, we should have this one. Da, da, da. But then, of course, there some people would say, well, if they was going to do it in New York, I'm sure y'all would have been getting mad if you would have picked somebody from like Philly to perform as the rapper in New York. But first of all, that would never happen because we already know hip hop was founded in New York. So there's a lot of pickings that y'all could do to get people to perform if you was going to do the Super Bowl in New York. So that would just wouldn't happen. And especially, I guess, with Jay-Z being from Brooklyn, he gonna make sure that somebody from New York. So I understand y'all probably gonna see his bias, whatever, it is what it is. So I still want to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all happy or excited to see Kendrick perform? Or do you feel that, yeah, they should have picked somebody from New Orleans to be a part of the Super Bowl? I'm sure when it comes down to it, Kendrick's going to put on an amazing show. He'll bring out some people from New Orleans to rep that city. And basically, maybe he'll have Master P and all of them up in there. And I feel like some of y'all need to just hold your horses, celebrities and regular people alike. Hold on, hold the phone, hold the water, hold all your stuff, and just wait before you come out and start with your BS and criticizing. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. My cousin Vinny, I do love that movie. They said people wanted Miley to do the Super Bowl, and to be honest, she's the last A-lister with enough hits left to do it. Well, I would like to see Miley. I also think, oh wait, I gotta go back up because there's way more posts for this. But I don't know. I would like to see Miley do it. There's still time for her to do the Super Bowl. Usher I thought was okay. And it said, I like to dedicate this to New Orleans. Drake, Nicki Minaj, all of Young Money and Cash Money. Proceeds do not like us, and a slew of Drake diss tracks. I do wonder if this is a slight towards Drake. I mean, you got Kendrick coming out to perform. It's like, damn, do Jay-Z got issue with Drake too? I don't know. I don't be paying attention. I don't be sitting. I'm not saying paying attention because I do. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Once I report the story, I done moved on to the next thing. There's only but so much stuff I can retain in this brain, but I got to make room for other stuff. So I can't sit and remember exactly like if Jay-Z got issue with Drake. I know Drake be having beefs and stuff with a lot of people, and I can't sit up here and keep track of the laundry list of people they got beef with. So maybe it is a slight, or the fact that Kendrick is a part of Rock Nation. So kind of like Megan Thee Stallion. And I wouldn't be surprised if next year they have Megan Thee Stallion do the damn Super Bowl. I mean, I think she'd be perfectly capable. That really gonna start some controversy with some people. That, oh, you can't pick Nicki Minaj. Well, no, because that's not who they pick. They pick Megan. So argue with your mammy. Stop getting mad when people go pick people over stuff. Because your fave didn't get picked. When you go and get a job at Rock Nation, then you can decide Apple Music or whatever. Then you can decide who gets to perform where. We have a choice of not to watch the Super Bowl when it come on. Go flip the TV to something else. And when them 15 minutes is up, come back. So they said Taylor was asked to do the Super Bowl for 2019, but didn't do it because she didn't own the masters to her songs. Yeah, I was reading this whole long ass thing because apparently it's like the Daily Mail don't write articles. They write fucking novels over there. It's like, God damn, when this article ended, did a whole breakdown on the whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift situation where they was talking about their little PR stunt, whatever the case was, and how there was some of their PR people was behind it. The whole leaking of this whole situation, how Travis's, I believe, PR person wrote a book on was like two books actually on like behind the scenes shenanigans or whatever, kind of like a Jackie Collins type of book on like fake relationships and all the other stuff. And they were trying to insinuate that that's what was going on with these two. And they started breaking this thing down, kind of like what you talking about in here about Taylor didn't own the rights and how she was lying and how Scooter Braun basically was like, oh, they offered, and the label offered her to buy back the rights to the masters, but I don't know, some stuff happened. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, this article is too damn long because they was putting all that in there. They was putting Travis Kelce stuff. They was putting the whole breakdown on her big machine deal and all. I was like, okay, like why is all this all being tied in? I was like, can we just stick to the article about the Hough relationship with Travis being fake? Like, let's stick to that. But they had to weave in all this other stuff. Well, I do agree. I did not particularly care for that Super Bowl halftime. That was a low. In my opinion, I feel like that was a weak Super Bowl halftime. People have noticed that Jay-Z has executive produced it. It's been black and urban culture outside of J-Lo and Shakira. I mean, that's fine, but how does this? But how does this answer the whole situation regarding um what was I going to say? Oh, because the damn printer's going off behind me and that distracted. How does this answer the whole situation about the drama that goes on with the NFL and how black athletes are treated, especially the stuff that happened with Colin Kaepernick? So how does this handle that situation? It's like, yeah, we get to get out there and you got to shake your ass and watch yourself and with your pom poms and all this other mess that's going on. But now we still have these racial issues that we got to deal with the NFL, but we good enough to get out there and perform for you. We good to shuck and jive for the damn NFL people. But this whole stuff, is an overall problem. So I'm like, whatever. So they said people wanted Miley to do the Super Bowl. Like I said, I would have liked to have seen her do that. And I did see I think I did respond about the whole box because if anything, we can move on. They said I'd be disappointed if he doesn't bring out Wayne or at least has one bounce song on the set list. Well, look, if you ain't gonna bring out Wayne, at least bring out Big Frida. So she get out there and start twerking. Don't bring out no damn Saucy Santana, who I had to cackle because somebody went and said, oh, no, it wasn't somebody. It was a cast of baddies that was up in there talking about Mariah Lynn and them, once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. And I'm admitting it, and all of them from that show was out here talking about how Saucy was a horrible host. And I'm like, how y'all surprised? I said, y'all just be thinking that, and this is the overall irritation for me. There's a lot of work that goes into hosting. It's not just, okay, we need to just find some name, somebody with a little notoriety. You sit them down on the damn chair and they ask a bunch of questions or, clicking their little fake fingernails like, they doing hair in the salon, acting all sassy. And then you thinking that's enough to get people to watch your show. And they talk about, oh, he's a horrible host. I'm like, well, duh. What kind of credentials does Saucy have to host anything? I mean, we saw how he interviewed Carisha. So why y'all surprised that his hosting duties was null and void? So he said, can you imagine if well, that's why I said he better bring her out. She is an icon in Nolan's. Kendrick Lamar could bring Taylor Swift to do Bad Blood. One person said Bad Blood in the year. Okay. Okay, because we already know that album about to flop in 2 weeks. And said Kendrick Lamar calling fake, well, same shit, different toilet, right? Drake a PDF on the halftime stage. NFL is going to refuse not like us because of the algorithms. Well, look, they'll probably have him change the words or whatever. He'll have to edit it down. And it said he could bring out Janet to do Poetic Justice without Drake. Well, we'll see if Janet Jackson will come up there. That would be an ultimate flex, especially how they still treating her over there with that. Y'all had Justin Timberlake do a whole show after he was the one that pulled her titty out on TV. He was forgiven, but she still ain't get her invite. Okay, sit and spin, NFL. And they said Lil Wayne manager basically let it be known that Jay don't call us anymore. Well, they be saying Jay is a little wishy-washy when it comes to things. Tina is on the Rock Nation, has enough hits to do it. That's what I was saying. Christina should be doing it. And I know people can't be up in here talking about, look, Christina having a bit of a resurgence with her career. She just turned it out in Vegas. The body is snatched. She definitely looked like she got a lot of energy. And if you decide to bring Christina back, why wouldn't you? I mean, yeah, she may not be the biggest thing right now, but she definitely is a legend in her own right. So I don't know why they wouldn't have Christina come out there and perform. So I have a feeling Beyonce is going to do. I'm just like, I'm so over Beyonce doing the Super Bowl halftime. Like, she need to go on and just do what she does. We don't need to see Beyonce every couple of years. It's just like if we see that, it just goes to show that y'all can't think outside of just the same, that we just running out of people who can actually give a good show. And that's what worries me, because when we talk about like performers for at the, at the all these award shows and how they be lackluster as hell, it's like, who is the next generation that I keep saying on this show that's gonna be the next Madonna, Beyonce, Kylie Minogue, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Pink? Like, who is the next generation of that y'all actually have not only songs that last the test of time, but y'all also have stage presence? Ain't many, I can't think of many that actually get up there and really give a good show. A lot of y'all be out here like Ice Spice, like doing this shit. You lost all that weight, still lackluster in the energy department. How? But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Ryan Gatecrest, who basically, Julianne Hough is spilling tea. So Ryan Seacrest is reportedly on the defense after Julianne Hough, his ex-girlfriend of 3 years, they dated, in case y'all need a reminder, dated from 2011 to 2013, recently spilled the tea on their relationship. So I didn't think she was ever going to come out and say some stuff about the relationship, but apparently she did. So shout out to Radar Online for this story. So Ryan Seacrest is hurt in and feeling his manhood has been slighted after ex Julianne Hough belittled their 3-year romance. And now Radar Online can reveal the new Wheel of Fortune host fears other ex-girlfriends will spill his tightly kept secrets. An insider says he can't understand why she did this to him and thinks she owes him an apology. When Ryan breaks up with someone, the one thing he counts on is discretion. He doesn't want people scrutinizing why he's still single at his big age. They ain't say big, I just added that in there. He said he assumes everybody's laughing at him. I'm gonna laugh at you. The 36-year-old Dancing with the Stars Hough, who's now co-hosted the show alongside Alfonso Ribeiro, dated the 49-year-old media mogul from 2011 to 2013 and recently said she made herself smaller and twisted herself up into the type of girl she thought Seacrest wanted. Hough said, I had this insecurity, and so I then started playing smaller, so I was malleable to fit in exactly what somebody needed me to be for them to be happy. But her shocking confession left the American Idol host fuming. A source said Ryan's stunned that she would attack his masculinity that way. He feels he's been made to look like a fool and a jerk. Truth is, it wasn't a flaming romance. What they had was a glorified friendship, but he thought they had a deal to respect each other. Now, when you go and say y'all had a glorified friendship, was there no, so that mean there was no sex involved? But this is what, see, now you want to know something. I hate you, Radar Online, because this sprinkles some homosexual type of undertones up in this situation. When you go and say, she basically said she had this insecurity. Let's break it on down. So she said I had this insecurity, so I then started playing smaller, which is what happens when you're a man of a certain age dating these young girls. And I always feel like if that is a situation that happens when the older man gets with the much younger girl in a relationship and vice versa, where it's like, oh, well, the person who is within the industry and is older has the upper hand because they know how to move around and maneuver, and they can manipulate a lot of these young, gullible people because they don't know no better. They still trying to figure out, how to wipe their own ass with the right tissue to wipe their ass with, I should say. I say use dude wipes. That's what I use. Keep that booty nice and tight and clean, because regular tissue don't keep your booty hole clean. Just tell you what it is. Y'all got to use them wet wipes because nobody wants dingleberries. So, with that being said, with Ryan in his situation, and then they go and say that it was more like a friendship. So, if you're in a relationship with somebody and it just comes into like y'all just basically friends, I'm like, there was no kind of romantic situation. Like, you ain't get her moist. Like, it just seems like when it comes to Ryan, it's just like, I don't get sexual from him. I don't get any kind of sexy anything. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with someone being a forever bachelor. Not everybody is meant to walk down an aisle and get married, and that should be fine. So we're not clowning him over that, but yeah, we cannot sit and not address the elephant in the room, which would be that when it comes to relationships with some people, when you get to be a certain age, why you ain't have no kids, why you ain't get married, why you ain't do that, we got to stop putting that off on people, because people insinuate that with, oh, you're gay, or you got issues, or something, whatever, or something or another. And it's like, yeah, I think a lot of times we need to realize that not everybody is meant to bring children into this world. Not everybody is meant to get married. And it's probably a good thing that some people decide not to have kids. You see what's going on? Like, we already 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks into the school year, and already we have a multitude of school shooters. What y'all do? Wait the whole damn summer to end before y'all want to go and start pounding people? So make it make sense in that whole situation. So, but here's the thing. If he's worried about his masculinity, I don't think it has nothing to do with your masculinity. I just think that she should be able to feel how she feels and address that. Is that maybe it was in her head that she felt, I'm sure, who knows if he maybe subconsciously put that on her. But when you're young and you're insecure and you don't know where you fit in a relationship, especially when Ryan Seacrest for a long time has been someone who has been deeply influential and has had a lot of power in Hollywood, basically got like 5,000 damn jobs. He's like one of the biggest working and hardest working moguls in media right now. Like, how many damn jobs this man got? He got he ain't doing Kelly Ripa show no more. She got her global ass husband doing that. So it's like between his radio show and American Idol and now Wheel of Fortune, which I don't even know if did they start that season yet? Or does that season start tomorrow, which would be Monday? So between the minute, and with all the jobs he has, I can understand why she was feeling like at the time, well, he ain't had all them jobs back when they were dating, but he still had an equal amount of jobs while they was together. And her trying to figure out her way in the whole situation. I'm sure a lot of those insecurities was falling on her because she was relatively new. She was just a regular old dancer trying to find herself, her way through Hollywood. And to me, it's just like no different than a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce type situation. Although Travis Kelce figured out where he fits in the situation, and he's come to terms with it, and he's okay, and that's why his career is thriving. There's no from what we know, there's no insecurity on his part. He's well secure in his situation, where they don't have to deal with the insecurities or whatever the case was, at least in public. Maybe in private he's feeling that way, but if that is something that he's going through, he's a real good actor, and he's real good at hiding it. So I will say this, that he do got a girlfriend, but wait, hold on. They said the upcoming Wheel of Fortune host also split with Aubrey Page, who's 26 in April, after 3 years, and previously dated food blogger Shayna Taylor for 8 on and off years until their breakup in 2019. So he has an affinity for being, he pushed 50 and dating all these young girls, but we're not gonna get all that mad at him because look at Leonardo DiCaprio. Aren't they about the same age, dating girls in the same bracket? I said I think Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend is like 26. I was like, wait a minute, she passed the age that he usually puts his girlfriends out the pasture, because the joke was always that he goes only up to 25. And once them girls hit 25, he sends them on their way with the little gift bag. But what I don't understand is, Ryan, if you were that insecure, according to this thing about your manhood and people spilling your tea about your bedroom secrets or whatever the case was, like if you like third input, or if you like a girl to strap it on, third input is, when you like it in the bud. Yes, bud. Or, or if you like, somebody fingering your prostate or putting on the strap, getting the strap, in the words of 50 Cent. Like, if you into all that other stuff, like I would think at your big age and as powerful and influential as you are in the industry, that you would at least have all your girlfriends sign NDAs. Like Beyonce, all of them, they be having people sign NDAs when they're in a relationship. Why didn't you think to do that? Because if you don't want your secrets to get out, that's what you do. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? I mean, do you feel that Julianne was out here, spilling tea? By the way, I don't even think what she said was that bad. She was just giving her experience of how she felt being in that relationship, that she had to make herself small to make him feel big or whatever. So maybe he don't know on a conscious level, or maybe say subconscious, that he was putting things out there that made her feel away, saying things to her that could have been passive aggressive. She was picking up on it, and she was just deeply insecure, which is what happens when you are in a relationship, and especially when you're young and the man is a lot older, and you're looking at him as more like a mentor or influencer or whatever to help you navigate through Hollywood. But according to the whole situation, with there's been stories and drama about how Vanna White and Ryan aren't getting along behind the scenes, and how Ryan is a control freak, and he's not trying to be Pat Sajak, and he wants to do things his own way. Which I think, if you're going to be on Wheel of Fortune and you want to keep that show going, you as a host have to kind of bring your own flavor to the show. You can't try to do what he does. It's the same thing. I'm going to bring it back to Emily Armstrong and Chester Bennington. If you want to come in and be the new member of a band because the old member is no longer able to perform because he's not in the union no more, then you have to be able to bring your own sense of who you are to the band, and that's your thing. You can't come in and try to be like what that person did, because the minute you try to come and try to be Pat Sajak, the people gonna cuss your behind out on social media and just drag you down to the floor. So I say all this, what do you think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so we said we were talking about it on a Reddit. They admit they move faster than we did. Spice Girls is forever important, iconic, despite a short-lived 2-year career. And Ace of Base, Alejandro reminded us the Spice Girls only been around, you said, a short 2-year career. They was only around for 2 years. They put out so many albums. You said Bedroom Secrets, child. That's what I'm saying. I can't even imagine Ryan Seacrest hunching anything. Not even men, because I know they be always trying to tell that story that he might be a homosexual, but I don't even know. He gives me like asexual to me. It just gives me asexual. Lisa, then X-Men 97 scene where Happy Nation did it again. They actually were good, and the music was amazing. The album comparison heard well, yeah, because it was just like 4 Swedish people, so it was like the album comparison, except their music was more or less like their music was different, but they did, based off of their look, it did give ABBA, because it was similar. 4 members, 2 guys, 2 girls from Sweden. So that's what the comparison was there. But in sidebar, shout out to, I know some people be hating on him, but I don't. Happy birthday to Bo DeMayo, because he is I didn't know he was a Virgo. I said, okay, I see why. Now I see why he is the way he is. She a Virgo. So that's a reanalyze, apologize, to say the music they made was good and was in 93, 96, stood out in America because nobody was doing a band of pop. That is true. Well, except for when Miss Mamas came out with Alejandro. Well, she thought we never heard of Ace of Base. It's like a wife would want a man to work, but not Ryan Seacrest. Maybe he likes to work. We try to normalize people not working. But you know what? That's probably what he's well, he's in a bigger relationship, or he's married to his work. Some people are. Some people more or less married to their work than they are to the people they're in relationships with. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to work until he drops dead, then that's his business. And he'll be a forever bachelor. But yeah, I do agree with that comment in regards of bedroom secrets. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Mariah's ex, James Packer, who is spilling all this tea about, there's his train wreck split from Mariah Carey, where he went and said that their breakup was one of the worst times of his life. And I was like, when I heard this, when he was like, why they broke, I said, ooh, I'm going to definitely put my ears to the streets on what's going on with this one. So in a candid interview seen by Radar Online, the billionaire, who's 57, opened up about what led to the demise of his romance with the music icon, who's 55. He's actually 57, by the way. And why the Top Gun star, as in Tom Cruise, who's 62, made the decision to distance himself from him. Packer labeled his short-lived relationship with Carey a train wreck and said their relationship was one of the worst times in his life. saying Mariah and I had broken up and she thought I'd planted a story in a magazine, which I didn't, and it made her look bad, he explained during his sit down with 7 News, saying she was threatening to say things about me, and so it was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. The times that I've been at my worst, I've had a lot on my mind. The musician and the We Belong Together singer dated for a year before getting engaged in January of 2016. However, the former pair were over by October of that year. As for his close bond with Cruz, Packer claims that Scientology is what broke their friendship up, saying, I'm no longer a member of the Church of Scientology. He made that clear when asked about the A-lister. And so there it goes, because I was like, of course, he was a Scientologist, because to me, it just seems like that's the only way you could be friends with Tom Cruise, is that you have to be within that whole situation. Is that no different than Jehovah's Witnesses? Like, everybody got to be within the church that you could mingle with and associate with. Otherwise, if you're not, then, And look, so many people have left the church. Katie Holmes. What about Mimi Rogers? Was she a sociologist? Look, they all a bunch of damn sociopaths, quiet as it's kept, but in that church. But Nicole Kidman he was married to. He was also married to Katie Holmes. We already know they had done escape the compound. And Mimi Rogers was his first wife. So I wonder if she was a Scientologist as well. So he said, I was good friends with Tom Cruise. It's Tom's choice, not mine, that we're not friends anymore. I'll never say a bad word about him. He was a wonderful friend to me. He is an amazing person. Probably because when you denounce yourself from Scientology, we already know like there's a lot of bullying, a lot of craziness that goes on within that church. So he's probably like being careful with some of the stuff he says because he knows how powerful and influential that church is, especially a lot of the people that are within the church. So he don't want to say nothing negative about Tom. I'm sure, like on the outside, Tom is like this amazing guy, whatever, whatever. But look, sinister things go on within that church. So I don't put nothing past Tom. And you want to know something? I like his movies, but that church, the devil, or try to say Xenu. So Packer was also candid about his struggle with mental health and his bipolar diagnosis, which has made him have a nurse with him at all times. Saying, I couldn't tell you what I'm on because I'm on a bunch of things and someone does it for me. He revealed about the prescription drugs he's used to help him. And didn't Tom Cruise come under fire when he was kind of going against prescription medications and stuff? I remember that. That was like the first time when people was like, "You rubbing us the wrong way." Where he was like against like the therapy and drugs and the prescription medications, and he started giving his personal beliefs about certain things that was rubbing people the wrong way. I said, "That's a damn Scientology. That's Scientology talking." So he said the worst drug I was put on lithium in 2022, and within 2 weeks I was a zombie. Isn't that what they had Britney on? He said I was a complete zombie. My experiences from having worked with psychiatrists in Israel, in Argentina, in America, and all sorts of places is if you get on the wrong drugs, it can be worse than the mental illness itself. Now, despite the scandals and chaos he has endured throughout his life, Packer isn't throwing himself a pity party for what he's been through. He said, I'm not here to play the victim. I think I am a very fortunate person. Money is not a guarantee of happiness, and neither is poverty. I would prefer to be rich and unhappy than to try to be poor and unhappy. I think my downs coincided with either being on the wrong medication or having too much stress at work. And when I say too much stress at work, that is code for too much debt and problems with the business. Well, yeah, because when you are a billionaire, you got a lot of drama to deal with. But like I said, I'm not surprised with this whole thing with him and Tom Cruise. Was like, okay, well, we were, once I guess he denounced or broke up with being a part of Scientology, people like Tom Cruise can't associate with you, and it's like they want nothing to do with you because what can you do for them? Don't a lot of times within this church they just be donating and throwing money at these churches all the time. Like there's always you got to give money or whatever the case is, and so why does he need to deal with you? And you're saying that he made the decision because that's what they do. It's like once you remove yourself from a church or what that particular church, you can't. Those people cannot associate with you. We see time and time again when people leave the church, how family members have to disown you. They can't have anything to do with you. Now, as far as the Mariah Carey thing, I can understand because you know what, she's someone who is in the business of being one of the biggest pop stars of the world, so she's going to be extra paranoid. But why would she think that he would sell the stories to the press? How are these things getting out? Maybe it was somebody leaking it within your camp. Sometimes I think a lot of these celebrities need to think that a lot of times the people that are the closest to you in your business, it could be a publicist, it could be an assistant, it could be a lot of people, and how y'all be treating people. You don't think that a lot of these people run out here running to the tabloids selling your business? But she thought it was him. And he said it wasn't because he didn't have, I mean, I guess he felt like what was he going to gain from it? The man's a billionaire. He don't need no money. But like I've said before, when you've seen a lot of times when you see these rich people, once they get a taste of that fame, it's like it becomes this drug that they constantly have to have. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? It was interesting to hear like from James Packer spilling a little tea about his relationship with Mariah, where he was basically talking about how it was, a train wreck. But I would have liked to have really know more about, okay, so what was the thing that was the cause, the real cause? Because I have to think it's way more than it just being about you allegedly planning a story in a magazine. Because if there was full-on details in there that only you would know, then I'm like, okay, now I understand why she would, want to break up with you. But I can't think that somebody would just break up out of the whim because, oh, you playing stories? Okay, that's an overall deal breaker. That has to been a lot more to the story than it just being, allegedly you planning a story to the tabloids. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have comments. Let's get to a couple of those. Okay, so Onyx says Mariah is another person that can do the Super Bowl, but I worry about her. Yeah, that's the thing with her too. I ain't gonna say she is as bad as Ice Spice, but Mariah, oh God, her stage performance is just terrible. I can't sit through a Mariah performance. So no, and I love me some Mariah. I've been listening to her since middle school, but but it's like no. As far as stage presence goes, no, ma'am. They said you need to introduce Tom to SCJE. What's SCJE? It says Scientology. He dated Cher in the 80s, so Cher dating younger men. She's born in 1940. Oh yeah, he was always dating older women every now and again. He said research for him. I told you it was somebody within her camp. I remember Stella from that. Didn't Mariah remember when Mariah didn't she have like a little reality show at one point? That shit was a mess. And yeah, I did not like Stella. So I would not be surprised if like somebody in her camp. Like a lot of people that she had working with her, like they came across as very opportunistic, and that's probably who was still in her business. And I do believe that Stella was involved in so many ways. So I would not be surprised. But anyway, let's give a huge congratulations to my girl Selena Gomez, who has officially joined the Billionaires Club. I know somebody on my timeline was trying to throw a little shade at her because what we're not going to do is dog Selena Gomez. Y'all can talk about her mediocre ass singing, which I don't think she wanted to do because, but it's a thing. They make you become a pop star or whatever when you're part of the whole Nickelodeon Disney machine. So, the music wasn't musicking, but at least she was smart enough to dive into the beauty line, the Rare Beauty, which she has her Rare Beauty brand. Say that 2 times fast. And she is now a billionaire because of it. So the Rare Beauty founder, who's 32, is now a billionaire on the Bloomberg Billionaire Index with an estimated 1.3 billion fortune after the success of her Rare Beauty brand. I heard she's also the youngest billionaire. The actress and singer has amassed her riches as one of the youngest billionaires in Hollywood after a storybook career, beginning with her breakout turn on the Disney Channel's The Wizards of Waverly Place, which I believe she is coming back for the sequel. And also, I'm going to give her a huge shout out to her because her show that she's on with Martin Short and Steve Martin, Only Murders in the Building. If y'all not watching that show, I don't know what the hell's wrong with y'all. Y'all definitely be checking that out. One of my roommates actually introduced me to that show, and I was like, oh, I love the show. It's such a fun little murder mystery type show. It's kind of like got that old school vibe to it, which I like. And I like Selena on it. I always thought she's a better actress anyway. But that show was actually renewed for a 5th season. So they said that According to Bloomberg, she has also amassed wealth as the world's third most followed person on Instagram, behind a pair of legendary pro soccer players as a Cristiano Ronaldo, who boasts 639 million followers on the platform, and Lionel Messi, who has garnered 505 million Instagram followers. Gomez herself has 424 million followers. I can't believe that Selena's this popular. I was like, wait a minute. I always thought she kind of flew under the radar, but I'm like, no, she's way more influential than I realized. They said Gomez also has a slew of popular TV film projects. She created a now canceled Max cooking show, Selena and Chef. Well, I've never seen that. That's probably why it was canceled. And stars alongside comedy icons Martin Short and Steve Martin, as I just talked about, Only Murders in the Building. And she's set to executive produce a reboot of her breakthrough show, Wizards of Waverly Place, but it's going to be called Wizards. And so she's out here doing fine. Meanwhile, her ex Justin Bieber out here having mental breakdowns and stressed out over, that opportunist he married and then them having a baby and everything. So he's over there, sagging his pants down to his knees, looking like he having a mental break. And she's over here living her best life, counting her billions. So she's in that same little clubhouse with my girl Rihanna. And meanwhile, you got Jennifer Lopez. Well, her beauty line was just removed from Sephora, which I had some of my beauty friends, my beauty industry friends, who was telling me that, yeah, they already removed her stuff. I thought that it was going to be at the end of the year. They was like, oh, her stuff has already been taken out of Sephora. So don't none of y'all care about Jennifer Lopez's beauty line, but y'all out here living for Selena, probably because she's young, she's pretty. Not saying that Jennifer isn't. She got that good old glowing Mexican skin. Touch all this skin, honey. Touch all this skin. You just can't take it. There's no overgrown orangutans in this house. But I will say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all excited that Selena Gomez is now part of the Billionaire Club, that she basically has accumulated so much money from this beauty empire? And it's good that, when she was able to find a way, and I think she started about 5 years ago, and how she's been able to turn such a profit in such a short amount of time, and how successful it's become. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Well, wait a minute. Speaking of which, wasn't her sister on, or was that Demi Lovato's sister? She was on Desperate Housewives as Gabrielle Solis' daughter. I know it was one of them. But anyway, Robinson's youngest billionaire. Good morning, college. Okay. And self-made, we should say, too. I should have put that in there. That Selena is a self-made billionaire. She wasn't given a leg up due to her, her family members and things like Kylie was. It says she up there with Hilary Duff, the least problematic child star. I like the both of them. I like Hilary Duff. Just doing my blah blah blah. I still be that performance still lives rent free in my head. The lackluster ass performance when she was counting that choreography when she was on the what was it the Today Show in the morning. Look that up on TikTok. That shit was a cackle. But it's like anyway. It said Kylie Cosmetics. Do anybody use Kylie Cosmetics? It said Fenty, Rhode, Rare Beauty, and even House Labs go more viral nowadays. Well, that is true, because I remember at one point Lady Gaga's House Labs was not doing well at all, but it has been turning a profit. So it says she has no ego. I was always Team Selena Gomez since Wizards. I was 23 and rooted for her because she was the underdog. Yeah, I always liked Selena Gomez. Even when y'all was out here, not y'all, but the one, in general, I'm just talking. But y'all was out here dogging her with that whole relationship with Justin Bieber. I saw, you need to go after his little corny wannabe wigger ass. And that old dust mite he done knocked up and got married too. We don't care. We don't like Hailey Bieber up in this house. I'm just saying this house, But anyway. Okay, so we got a couple more topics left. So before we get to those topics, can you please do me a solid, hit that like button, that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Now, without further ado, let's get into some drag race news, because RuPaul has a reason to be sad. Or should he be sad? Because, child, why does skip? You got enough damn Emmys. You don't need another one. So let's give a congratulations, or should I say congratulations, to Alan Cumming. because the time has come for RuPaul to sashay away with his hosting Emmy-winning streak, because on Saturday, September 7th, that would be yesterday, the Traitors host Alan Cumming won the 2024 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Host for Reality or Reality Competition Program, which is an award that had been won by the RuPaul's Drag Race Commander-in-Chief himself for 8 consecutive years. Which, in my opinion, is like, well, damn, was there nobody else that could have won that damn award? Why was it that for 8 years straight he was winning it? But we'll get into it. So shout out to EW for this story. Now, other nominees in the category this year includes all 6 Shark Tank hosts, which would be Mark Cuban, Lori Griner, Kevin O'Leary, Barbara Corcoran, Robert Herjavec, and Damon John, Kristen Kish for Top Chef, and Jeff Probst for Survivor. I've been forgetting to watch this new season of Top Chef because Padma not on there no more. Now it's Kristen Kish, who I remember from like earlier seasons of Top Chef. She's now the host. Now, RuPaul's streak of wins, however, remains undefeated as he stands as the most decorated Black artist in Emmy history with a total of 13 statues to his name. Now, RuPaul's record in the Outstanding Host category will also be hard to beat. The 2 hosts who come closest to his record are Jeff Probst with 4 past wins for Survivor and Jane Lynch with 2 for Hollywood Game Night. Is that show still on? Heidi Klum, Project Runway, and Tom Bergeron, Dancing with the Stars, tie RuPaul as with the most nominations, and 9 each, but neither host their respective shows any longer. Speaking of which, what happened to that Next in Fashion? What was the name of that damn show? Was it called Next in Fashion? What Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn was a part of? What happened to that show that was on Amazon Prime Video? I kind of like that show, but I don't feel like that show had as much of an impact as Project Runway has. Now, last year, a new category split off of the Outstanding Host for a Reality or Reality Competition Program competition. Why does it sound like one of those long ass things that used to be said on that show, Go for the Goal? The competition program competition called Outstanding Host for a Game Show, which this year went to Pat Sajak for his final season host of Wheel of Fortune. Now, first of all, I hate when award shows do that. Oh, so y'all wasn't going to nominate me all the years when I was working at that damn show, which was 40 damn years. But now when I finally retired, now you want to give me an Emmy? I also want to give a shout out to Angela Bassett because long overdue, she finally got her Creative Arts Emmy yesterday as well. So I want to give her shout out because y'all be playing in my girl face in regards of like her winning her Emmys and things. Finally, y'all acknowledging her talent. So they said Cumming's win is for hosting season 2 of The Traitors, which counted Drag Race alum Peppermint among its cast. The esteemed actor won viewers all season with his fabulous costumes and dramatic speeches on the murderous competition series. Now, drag has proven to be an Emmy behemoth since its first entered this competition in 2015 when Matthew Anderson, RuPaul's then makeup artist, scored the show's first nomination for Outstanding Makeup for a multi-camera series or a special for season 7. RuPaul took home his first hosting award the next year. And y'all already know, I told y'all with Matthew Anderson, he's currently in a hospice, withering away. And that's no shade, I'm just saying. Now, beyond Best Host, Drag Race has won across categories recognizing outstanding achievements in costumes, editing, directing, hairstyling, makeup, casting, production, design, and of course the big award, Outstanding Reality Competition Program. Now, past Drag Race contestants Delta Work and Raven, well, you already know. If y'all don't know the tea about why Delta Work ain't no longer doing Rue's wigs, y'all need to check out her interview on social media. I'm trying to remember who was it with. Was it with Joseph Shepard or was one of them? Just look it up. Go when Delta Work did the interview and dispel tea. Now, Raven, who I did just recently see a picture of her on RuPaul, she's still doing her makeup. Now, I don't know which one is darker, Raven or Rue. They look like they got the damn same skin tone at this point. So they said that they've taken home Emmys for their own for hair and makeup, respectively. While season 8 contestant Layla McQueen became the first former Drag Race star to win an Emmy for her work on a different program, 2022's We're Here. Now, RuPaul has won a staggering amount of awards over the course of a legendary 4-decade career, including Billboard Music Awards, several MTV Movie and TV Awards, a Critics' Choice Award, a Tony Award for the 2022 musical A Strange Loop, which he produced, and his very own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. RuPaul recently crowned the ninth winner of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars with season 14 runner-up Andrea Paris Van Michaels joining the Drag Race Hall of Fame. And, she's already doing Drag Race Global All-Stars, which I already told y'all is a hot-ass damn mess. Like, if y'all don't figure out how to fix this show in the next season, then this needs to be a one and damn done. I do not think we need another. Like, this has got to be the worst damn spinoff I've ever seen RuPaul host. Like, Miss Mama's done checked out. And to be honest, I feel like at this point, with Alan Cumming winning, this is actually good news. This has been a long time coming. That finally we have somebody else in there that could take this crown. And I will say this, I like the fact that it's another queer person that won the award and not just, some random whatever. So I do love the fact that we have somebody who is queer, like Alan Cumming, who won the award. Because I love Alan Cumming. First of all, he brings the fashions on the Traitors. That's one of the reasons why I watch the show. Number two, another reason why I watch the show is like I like the whole murder mystery vibe because I love murder mysteries. Ever since I was a kid, I used to read like murder mystery books and things of that nature. So I like this whole murder mystery reality TV thing that they're doing with the show and a couple of the reality TV stars and things of that nature that they bring on there. And I just love the pizzazz and the energy and the vibe that Alan brings to the show. Because to be honest, we've had this talk of this show, and I'm sure many of y'all probably agree or maybe not. But I feel like RuPaul's Drag Race has kind of lost its muster. It's lost its muster for the past maybe 5, 6 seasons. Like to me, to be honest, yeah, it's great to see people come on and whatever. But I've always felt like RuPaul's Drag Race has kind of lost its muster since season 8. Y'all really have not given me my life in regards to watching this show. It's become too overproduced. It doesn't have that kind of energy that it once had. And I do feel like we need more shows that highlights the art of drag besides what Drag Race is doing. There's so many different aspects of the drag world in regards to performance and stuff that we need to be getting. And this is why I love the idea. Well, not the idea, but I just love the fact that look, we got Dragula coming back next season. And we're gonna get into that in a moment. But I love the fact that we're getting season 666 of Dragula coming up in October because we need different aspects of drag and there should be other options that people have to watch. Nobody's trying to take away from Drag Race. Drag Race probably just need to step its pussy up. Y'all can't be the only the only show in town that gets to have a spotlight. There should be other aspects of that showcases the art of drag, the art of performance, the creativity behind it, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into being a drag performer. We need that. And we need networks to support more than one thing. But I always hate like when it comes to networks that y'all only think that there should be one representation of something and that we can't have a plethora of things. It's kind of like how they be treating the music industry. We could only have one female rapper at a time. You could only have one black person at a time. You could only have one Asian artist at a time. Like who said that? We're not a monolith. There should be different respectful or iterations of drag. And yeah, RuPaul is one of the biggest drag queens on the planet, but she's not the only drag queen. And that's why RuPaul's Drag Race should not be the only representation. Even though that's what, Tia Madam was like, oh no, it's not oversaturated because, there's so much because I guess what she was pretty much saying was like this, in regards to like the whole drag thing that it's not oversaturated because this is like the only thing that queer people have at the moment. It's like, well, who said that to be the only thing we have? Like there should be other representation. There needs to be more money put in, even though we're a small little community. There should be a lot more shows that showcases what we do as talent to be put out there where people could watch. And with streaming services, the sky's the limit. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Y'all actually happy that Alan Cumming won his, beat RuPaul in the Emmy-winning, category for hosting the Traitors? And does RuPaul and the whole Drag Race family need to step their pussy up in regards of like making the show entertaining again instead of worrying about, all the, them basically watering the damn show down so that way they can get all these little Emmys and that the mainstream we're accepted. But we got to be accepted by the mainstream by diluting who we are as people and turn them basically drag into some Disney-fied version of the art of drag performance. So let me know what y'all think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. That's funny. I was reading Roro's comment. I'm gonna get to it in a minute. That's why I was laughing. Um, oh yeah, I did read that one already. It said, yeah, I read that one too. It said, have you Googled Kylie Cosmetics ads in Europe? Kylie Jenner Cosmetics due to our favorite Kylie making sure she had to add Jenner international. Well, yeah, because Kylie was like, first of all, bitch, I've been around before you. So you're not gonna come up in here and try to market that damn name. Like Kylie Minogue been around, like she's 55. So she'll be 56 next year. So what you're not going to do is come up in here and try to act like you the only damn Kylie because first of all, how did Pit Mama Kris come up with that name? She ain't just pulling out her ass because Kylie Minogue has been around long. What you're not going to do is try to market that name where I can't be able to market myself and profit off of a name when I've been around before you. You're not doing that, sis. Exactly. Not y'all, but y'all. It's a Charlie XX wrote "Same Old Love" and her vocals can be heard in background and ad libs. I do remember that. Is it bad? I'd rather have a new Selena Gomez album over a Britney album. No, I do feel like I wouldn't look if Selena Gomez has some bops on a new album. Look, she did have some good songs. There were some songs, even though her singing is a choice. Um, I've actually liked some of her songs. "Same Old Love" was actually one of them. I did like that song that she did. I even liked her song "Good for You." There was a couple of songs she had on there. On some of her albums. I liked "Rare" too. How about I kind of had that whole Indian vibe to it. It's a typical Britney's fashion change the biopic into a musical. That's why I did hear that there was something coming as a musical. So the biopic isn't happening as a musical. I was hearing something of that, but I just didn't care enough to check it out. Sidebar: did y'all see Paris Hilton's DJ set? There was because she has a DJ set that I think premiered on the eTube, and it was, what was it called? Oh, it was for her Tomorrowland one. I think that was the one where there was some people in the front row holding up signs talking about she not playing live. I said, "Ooh, y'all shady." And she was like, "No, bitch. Yes, I am." So we could sit up in here and dog Paris Hilton and say that she just be pressing buttons. First of all, she do be playing live, unlike some people, David Guetta. So she be up there actually mixing and doing a lot of her DJ sets, and she's had to prove herself. And I'm like, you know what? She was smart to market herself as a DJ because if I'm making all this money partying in clubs, I'd rather make money where I could actually learn how to spin some damn records. And she learned because she was dating Afrojack at the time. Afrojack passed away, didn't he? I believe he did. And so they said Alan doesn't hold a candle to RuPaul hosting talents, but at least the Emmys kept it in the family. Well, I won't say, yeah, I will say that Alan could be a bit, he does lay it on a bit thick in regards to the hosting department. And yeah, RuPaul is someone who definitely is that person when it comes to hosting. But lately he's been phoning it in, particularly on Global All Stars. I cannot tell you how much of a chore it is for me to get through an episode of Global All Stars. It's horrible. Even this last acting episode they did, it was terrible. Every episode is like worse than the last. But I'm watching it. That's why I said I can't wait for Dragula next month. We're gonna get into the Dragula story. And so I saw that vid of Ru and Raven twerking Lana Del Rey. I will never understand why white tea people tan so okay. And you know what? And Lady Bunny posted and I posted it as well, posted something on my page. I think I might have deleted the post as also. I can't remember what it was, but hold on, because let me see if I can find it. No, that ain't it. I was like, no, that was the other thing. Oh, I'm looking at my future husband, David Archuleta, at the gym. And I don't know if I can find it because it was like, throughout the day I post so much stuff. But oh yeah, I saw this. So it said, let me see if I could show y'all. Hold on. Because I found it. Oh, yeah. So here it is. It said, how did Raven and RuPaul get so close? And somebody said, do you mean in color? And I was like, why does why does Raven look so miserable? Because when you look at RuPaul and Raven, like you look at Raven right here, first of all, she is dark in this picture. And then it looks so damn why so serious? Like it's just giving very much that. Like, why y'all look so damn serious? But yeah, child. I was like, I don't know who is dark, who is darker in that photo. Is it him or her? Well, him or him. So between RuPaul checking out and people Whoopi admitting the check is good, but she's checked out a long time ago. Yeah, she do be looking bored as hell in the View. I have not really watched this week. I only watched Tuesday's episode. That's why I wasn't really familiar with the whole Anna Delvey comment. So she wanted an apology because Whoopi got her facts. I was like, facts wrong about what? Like you had to get permission from ICE to get on this show. Like you are a full on freaking criminal. You stole money from people. You're a liar, but you get rewarded for it. So where was the lie in what Whoopi said? But you want the facts correct. Bitch, you better be glad your 15 minutes of infamy is being extended because of some tired ass Dancing with the Stars is desperate for ratings. Since season 8, that was exactly it was 10 years ago. That was the last time that in my opinion, and shout out to all the people that have won since then. I live for Sasha Colby. I live for, even though she ain't win, Saphira. I live for a lot of the girls that have come throughout the show. But to me, the show ain't been good since season 8. Although I will say this, I do have a soft spot for Evie Oddly season because there was so much drama that came throughout that show. You had Brooklyn Heights, you had Silky Nutmeg Ganache, you had so many of them on that show. Maybe I'll throw season 9 in there because we had Aja, we had Valentina, we had Pheromone, we had Elephant Queen that first season before she injured her leg. So there was a lot of good queens on that show, and then she came back in the following season. So it's like going mainstream ruined it when it went to Logo. Well, you mean when it left Logo? It said people want an explicit version that feels more gay than heteronormative friendly show. Because when it was on Logo, first of all, a lot of people wasn't watching, but it did feel real and authentic, and it was just like raw and balls to the wall. And it was just a lot. The show was a lot of fun and it was exciting. Now it just feels it's too overproduced. The producers are pretty much controlling and pulling the strings. And back then they didn't have a lot of money, so I guess you could take a lot more risks. But when it was on Logo, yeah, it was popping. Then it went to VH1, and then now they're in MTV. They said not everybody likes Nicki Minaj. I like Megan because she's camp and gritty. Nicki leaning into the white gaze because that's her true fan base. At this point, shows, especially since she realized people like her as a pop star. Well, I did see her set list, and I'm like, it looked like she didn't change the set list at all. It looked like the same set list from when she did the first round of her tour. Let's not forget, Can't Keep My Hands to Myself. Oh, yeah, I did like that song too. And said she winning lots of people over. I'm happy she's getting flowers and apologize for being smart to capitalize off the dumb blonde. Oh, you talking about Paris Hilton? Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, I did not like Paris Hilton back in the day. I couldn't stand her in the Surreal Life. I mean, not the Surreal. Was it called the Surreal Life? What was that show she did with Nicole Richie? I did not like that show. I didn't like Paris back then. She did irritate me. With all the things was about, being a racist and all the other stuff back in the day. But now it's like she's mellowed out, and I like her. I guess because of being older and being a mother and being a wife, like she's mellowed out. But I get thank you. It was a simple life. So it said Alan is effing hilarious in Spice where every time he's ready to film the girls, he missed the moment, focusing on perfect angles and close-ups. Look, I've always liked Alan Cumming. He does have a club out here called Club Cumming. Wait, I need to check if that's still around. Hold on. Because I remember a friend of mine, Daniel Nardicio, was in business with him doing that. Because I haven't really heard much about Club Cumming. Yeah, it's still around. They said Buzzy Celeb owned bar with drag and cabaret shows plus other diverse entertainment. So yeah, it's still around. It's on East 6th Street, which is over there where the Ritz and the Cock and all those other legendary spots is. But yeah, Club Cumming, I was like, I had to double check because I was like, is Club Cumming still around? Or he said, I didn't grow up with Paris. I was a year old when that show was on, but she's clearly trying to make herself relevant and in the news by coming back to music. And I still haven't heard her new album yet. Maybe I'll check it out tomorrow. But I know she's been trying to play up the whole, I'm making dance pop music for the gays. So you're basically like Erica Jane, but with better producers. Because Erica Jane music could be a choice. It's like I like some other stuff, but I'm like, girl, this is like that West Hollywood basic. This is like that basic West Hollywood gay dance pop music. But I used to listen to Erica Jane music back when her videos were played on Logo. There was a segment called New Now Next, and that was when I first heard of Erica Jane. That was before she got on The Housewives. So when I heard she was on the show, I was like, oh, I'm familiar with her, but I had no idea who she was married. I didn't know she was married to Tom Girardi and all that drama that came after that. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about We're Here, who, sad to say, has been canceled after 4 seasons. Like, they revamped the show, they brought in new people, and look, it only lasted 1 season. And no shade, I'm gonna say this: I did not watch this season of We're Here. I don't know. I just couldn't bring myself to. I think maybe it was just going to a small town trying to get. Why don't you like me? Why do you hate gay people so much? I guess maybe it's because I don't give a fuck whether or not straight people like me or not. I wasn't interested in watching a bunch of people in a small town being discriminated. Like, there's enough drama and trauma going on in the world, particularly in our community. I did not want to watch it in reality TV form. So the Emmy-winning drag makeover series starring RuPaul's Drag Race alums was canceled after 4 seasons on the cable network. Co-creators, executive producers Johnny Ingram and Stephen Warren announced on Instagram Friday. Now here's their Instagram post. It says, although the current run of our show has ended, We're Here's message of love and acceptance has already made a lasting impact on 2S LGBTQ, that's two spirited, in case anybody didn't know that, LGBTQIA plus people across the country. Creating We're Here was a dream come true, and our hearts are overflowing with love. We are grateful to HBO for giving us this opportunity. To our fierce drag mothers and drag community, to our production team at IPC, and to all those that share their hearts and stories with us. It took a lot of courage, sequins, and sweat to make We're Here, and we are so proud to leave behind 4 Peabody Critics' Choice, GLAAD, and Television Academy Award-winning seasons that are wildly entertaining, enlightening, and give hope to anyone struggling to live their truth. So here's the thing. I do love the fact that they inspired a lot of people, because I guess maybe the reason why I could say what I said is because I'm in a liberal city. I live in New York City to be exact. So I'm not having to deal with a lot of the things that people in Cupcake, Idaho and West Bubblefuck, Wisconsin have to deal with. I'm in a blue state. So I'm good over here. So maybe that's why my mindset is I don't want to sit and watch all this other stuff. But I do feel for the people that are in these small towns that look to these shows to feel some kind of normalcy, because they see drag queens coming into their neighborhoods and trying to make a difference and change the hearts and the minds of ignorant ass people in these small towns who have a hard time dealing with people who are different than them. So I totally get it. And I feel for those people who have to deal with that. So, the show premiered in April 2020 with Drag Race standouts Bob the Drag Queen, Eureka, and Shangela traveling from town to town to dole out makeovers and open minds. The first season was disrupted by the COVID-19 shutdowns, but the show returned for its second season in October 2021. Season 4 saw a host turnover as Drag Race franchise winner Sasha Velour, Priyanka, and Jada Essence Hall, plus the legendary Latrice Royale, stepped into the spotlight. Now, the docuseries also shifted its focus at what turned out to be its final season, highlighting the Queen's work to combat the rising tide of anti-LGBTQ plus sentiment in the United States. So maybe that's where it went, was the fact that they shifted the focus. Because I didn't get to see the last season, because I know what we liked about the show was that these queens would come into these small towns, they would visit these queer people that lived in these small towns, they'd make them over, that they'd secure a little spot where they could put on a drag show, and then the people that they made over would come out and perform with them and have their moment in the spotlight as a drag artist. So when they were talking about that, how things have changed, and I guess they want to talk about more of like make it more focused on a lot of the anti-LGBTQ stuff that was going on in the country, especially when they're trying to ban drag queens from performing in public spaces, and trans people, they don't want them to use certain bathrooms or whatever, and all this other stuff. So they wanted to focus on a lot of that. There's been a lot of the Don't Say Gay bill and all those other things that's been going on with these politicians who are creating these things as a distraction, playing into a lot of people's ignorance and fears, while they over here stealing all kinds of shit, as politicians, stealing your money, creating all kinds of criminal activities. Well, then somebody I just heard from Fox News that they ain't talking about that was accused of having child stuff, sexual stuff on their drive. But Fox News ain't talking about that. But they want to, but drag queens are dangerous. They want to ban, drag queens from reading their children, but you got children running up in schools shooting their damn classmates. And then the parents like, oh, I notified the council. What about notifying the goddamn police? What the council going to do? Talk them to death? You should have called the police to prevent this situation from happening. So there's a whole bunch of craziness going on in the world. But you know what? We don't have no problems with guns, right? That's what we should be focusing on. This easy access to semi-automatic weapons, and how we're teaching kids as a sense of normalcy to be practicing school shooting drills, hiding behind couches and stuff whenever something happens. Like, this is not just some normal day that my child is going to a school. And I think this is why a lot of people don't even want to bring kids into this world, because of how people are acting. So they said the world has changed. We're all experiencing in our real lives of social media just a greater amount of misinformation around queer people, of fear and hatred and shame surrounding what we do, which we know could not be further from the reality. This is what Sasha, who won Drag Race Season 9, previously told EW. Faced with opposition directly in our faces, sometimes screaming at us, we somehow managed to channel this beautiful power of drag to stay calm, to combat myth with fact, and just to show that we what is so great about what we do. Now, we'll say this. We're Here did score 7 Emmy nominations, 4 wins, including Outstanding Hairstyling, Outstanding Makeup, and 2 for Outstanding Costumes for Variety, Nonfiction, and Reality Programming, but none for hosting. But because I guess y'all like costumes and things. Now, it is sad that this show is not going to be around. We'll see if, I doubt it, but if it'll go to another network. But I do hope that HBO Max is not going to pull what they did with Legendary, that once Legendary was canceled, all of a sudden y'all just wiped the slate clean and the show never existed. I would like to go back and revisit old episodes of Legendary, but they went and took it off. So I hope they don't do this with We're Here, because I feel like there's been in this overall situation of queer programming being canceled, and then it's just y'all wipe the slate clean for us to never hear from these shows ever again. Because I was trying to look for it on what was it, on Out Magazine. I think it was something like the overall amount of shows that was canceled that features gay people on the show. One of them being, we just heard about what's the name of that show? 911 Lone Star. There's another show that was just canceled after their final season premieres. That's it. But I think there was some this year was like I don't know, I might get the number wrong, but I'll just say, or to be on the safe side, at least a good 30 to 35 shows featuring queer people have been canceled on network television. So I don't know what the issue is. And then it's like, these shows they just disappear and we never hear from them ever again. So it's unfortunate what this is all happening. And now we have, We're Here is gone. So It is what it is, I guess. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this news? Are y'all sad that We're Here is no longer with us? Are y'all upset that you're not going to see the show again? Were you watching the show? What did you think of the show? Did you feel like season 4 didn't really bring or do what needed to be done in regards of, what you were used to watching when it comes to that show? Whatever your thoughts are about We're Here, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have comments. He said the male gay. Oh, who said Katy? She's more like than Katy Perry. Well, Chad, why does this Kim? Who isn't like more like than Katy Perry? It said the male gays. It said most of us want to move, but our families and friends make it hard. Yeah. So I dream of leaving North Carolina, but I'm just now starting to love being from the South and growing up in country culture. Well, I was like, you do get to. I feel like the older you get, you start to appreciate a lot of things that you didn't appreciate when you were younger. It's weird they wouldn't cancel Trixie Mattel Hotel Show, but it's on the smaller Discovery Plus app. Not the funniest thing is I still haven't watched that show. And one of my friends who worked on the first season was like, "You need to watch that show." Not only that, but they always be telling me to watch Alaska's drag show that's on Out TV. I need to start watching that too. I did watch like one episode, but then I got sidetracked and watching other things. But I feel like that's another show I need to watch. Also, it's funny. I just watched X-Rated NYC the premiere. Child, they had Angel up on there starting his best, and I'm just like, this show is so like it feels like it's just a bunch of shit made up, but I'm thoroughly entertained by it. So, but I am looking forward to Willem's show when that comes on. But yeah, X-Rated NYC, the first episode, season 3 premiered. Joey Mills and them starting the drama back up. And, you had, I'm hearing Max Connor talk about he retiring soon. He's talking about he getting tired of slinging ding-a-ling for a coin. He's trying to build his empire. Which I'm like, yeah, build your studio. You be behind the scenes. You make have your little harem of men, kind of like Raheem Shabazz, so y'all can walk away, but you still got the empire and you make your money. Said Max still has a lizard pen, so I was surprised they haven't pulled it. Yeah. Funnily enough, the other day I was at work and they was playing her song. What's that song called? To Be Loved? I don't know. I'm bad with titles. But they were playing that song. I was up in there just to sing along. And I'm like, oh, I was like, I forgot about how much I like some of Lizzo's stuff. And it actually, I was thinking about the docuseries. I was like, you know what's going on with her? And this whole, the essay allegations and all this other stuff. And can her career be rehabilitated? We saw recently how, she recently resurfaced showing pictures of her losing, in the gym. She lost a lot of weight. And people are giving her, her flowers because of that. But have people forgotten about the whole thing with how they were saying that she's not the nicest person? That a lot that whole persona about big girl, celebrating big girls and big girl power and all this other mess was all just part of the act. So I do wonder. He said, "Do you think law enforcement going after the parents will mitigate school pows?" I think it need to. But the funny thing was, going after the parent, first of all, I said I'm glad they're going after the father. First of all, the father went and bought his son that gun for Christmas. So if you're going to give your child something that they shouldn't even be having at no damn 14, I get it. In certain parts of the United States, guns are part of the culture. I mean, if that's all white people y'all can come up with, that's part of y'all culture. It's funny how when you look at black folks, when you look at Latinos, when you look at Asians, they all have they have all these different things that represent their culture. White people, all y'all got is guns. What that say about y'all? Guns and colonization. So how y'all go in and this is y'all thinking, oh no, this what we do down south. Like we go shooting guns and all that other stuff. Like y'all do that. And then you wonder why there's like a high rise in school shootings. Like make it make sense. So if you're going to be a parent and you're going to buy your child at 14 a weapon, and somebody say something wrong, I'm going to just bring my gun to school and I'm just going to shoot. And then they said that the mother had called the school maybe like an hour before the situation happened to warn them about her son being a mess and doing whatever he was doing. And then the council went to go look for the kid. The kid wasn't in the class. They said there was another kid that was in the same class that shared the same name as her son. They grabbed the backpack. Turned out it was the wrong backpack. But then they thought that was going to be the situation. And then all of a sudden, that's when the pow-powing started. So the mother was like, "Yeah, I warned him." And then they said the son basically called his mother to let her know what he was doing or had done. So this is insane. So there needs to be a cap put on in regards of like guns. But this has been going on since Columbine. So that's like what? 98, 99? Which was like over 20, like 25, 26 years. And then remember at one point they tried to blame Marilyn Manson. Oh, so Marilyn Manson was the fault of why them two fools from, you know, Columbine did what they did, which we all come to find out was a bunch of BS. That's like when they go and blame Grand Theft Auto and all this other stuff. At some point, parents got to be responsible and not be letting it. If your kids is easily influenced and gullible, you got to put restrictions on what they can and cannot be doing. They should be playing no Grand Theft Auto and no 13. They should be out here shooting cans and stuff with, you know. But then again, back when I guess my generation and boomers and Gen X and all that stuff, I'm sure when they was out shooting and stuff, we didn't have to deal with this growing up in school. I'm so glad I grew up in the time I did. When I was in school, I didn't have to deal with school shootings. So it was like, why Joey become the villain? Because that old man basically said you getting older and can't be a twink for. Oh, you saw that trailer? He said I gave Joey Mills his name. Yeah, and Joey Mills, even though he is, I forget how old he got to be pushing 30. He still look 12. Still in my music bill. He said, I hope I didn't come in late. No, just about 2 hours late. And then keep digging the Trump grave. JD Vance, you're gonna look. Trump already know he losing. That's why he running around still with this narrative of, oh, they're still in the election. It's rigged. Like you said this shit like 4 years ago. Like broken record much? And I just saw this story about I talked about it where South Park said they're not even um mentioning Donald Trump. They're not doing anything in regards of their show on him because it's like it's not funny. Like it's the same stupid tired ass. Like, how do you make Donald Trump funny? He just looks stupid whenever you open. And then I'm tired of hearing people talking about, oh, I like Donald. Oh, I like Donald Trump because he's funny. I'm like, funny how? Like I listen to him and I'm like, sound like an idiot. And you said these same old things over and over. At what point is it just gonna be like, okay, this is not funny. This is just pathetic. And then people just encouraging it. But anyway, let's move on to some more drag news. And let's talk about the sickening cast of Drag Race España season 4 has been revealed. And this is a couple of hours ago. I'm like, well, damn, we are oversaturated with the Drag Race. But you know, I've already come to a point that I don't sit up in here and try to watch every iteration of Drag Race. I just watch certain ones. And that's that. The only foreign ones, I know I should have been watching Drag Race Mexico, which just ended, I believe, this weekend. I think it was just like, they wrapped their season 2. I have not gotten into Drag Race. What is it? Philippines. I know that one was really good. First of all, I heard like they had the best Snatch Game. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to go give Philippines a gander. I only watched season 1 and I really haven't revisited it. So maybe I need to give it another. I'm gonna give it another chance. So Drag Race España is coming. And we got a season 4. So El Chabalante Merinas because Supreme Deluxe, Javier Ambrosi, Javier Calvo, and Ana Loking. Because you know that's how they be saying this. Ana Loking. And we're trying to sound like how Supreme be saying it on the show. And you know, they back for the 4th season of Drag Race España. Now, the 4th season of Drag Race España will feature a new group of fabulous queens competing through wig-snatching challenges and gagalicious runways. Now, in the end, only one queen can be crowned Spain's next drag superstar. So, for those of you who are wondering, the new season of Drag Race España is set to premiere on September 22nd via WOW Presents Plus. Now, I'm sure if you got Spanish TV, y'all already know which channel is on. But for those of us outside of Spain, WOW Presents Plus is where we go to watch the show. Now, I will be honest. I was kind of underwhelmed by last season, and I was a bit underwhelmed by All Stars. We already knew Drag Sessions was going to win. But me personally, I just felt like I was underwhelmed by España All Stars and season 3. So I'm really hoping that they bring it home with season 4, because I always get worried, like whenever I watch a lot of my favorite shows, that the bigger they get, it starts to lose that momentum. Drag Race, I'm talking about you. So I don't want that to happen with that show, and I don't want that to happen with Drag Race France, because Drag Race France is another show that's foreign and subtitles included because I need them. I don't speak the French, but I can if you like. So, um, I'm actually, I love watching Drag Race France, but I also like Drag Race España, and I don't want to lose my momentum of being into that show. So, without further ado, let's get into some of these queens. Hopefully, this slide will work, and we'll get to see who it is. So, Angelina Perversa, who is 44, hails from Madrid, and then we have Chloe Vitu, who is 23 from Barcelona. But actually, what I should do is let's go over and cheat a little bit, and let's go to Out Magazine, excuse me, who actually gives us a little information on some of the queens. So let's take a gander back a little bit, so that we can get into what is Angelita La Perversa all about. So she is 44, representing Madrid, and if you want her Instagram, it is Angelita Graham. And they said Angelina defines her drag as classic yet modern, sexy, avant-garde, and filled with dark humor. She believes she shows lots of duality, as she could be either very good or very bad. She wants to be the next Spanish drag superstar to bring comedy to the queens of Spain. Now let's move on and let's talk about Chloe Vitu, who is 23 and is representing Barcelona. And he said Chloe is excited to serve good lip syncs, scandalous looks, tits that are going to cause a scene, and of course, face, face, face. She gives face, beauty, face. She loves connecting with the audience and strives to give everyone the time of their lives in every performance. So there you have it with her. Excuse me. Let's move on to the next queen, and that's Dita Dubois, who is 37 and representing Tenerife. And it says, comedy queen Dita Dubois describes her drag style as a mix of Carmen Falada, who won season 1, Samantha Ballantines, and Estrella Extravaganza in a blender. So she is confidently serving body, face, and a mischievous tongue. Well, we'll see what that tongue do when she premieres on Drag Race España in a couple of weeks. Our next queen is Kelly Pasa, with she comes with a question mark and exclamation point. I said there's a lot of situations up in there, whatever it means. She's 38 and is representing Madrid. So Kelly is ready to bring surrealism and punk to Drag Race España. Her inspirations include Vivienne Westwood, Lena Morgan, Alaska Almodovar, and Wes Anderson, and even her mother and grandmother. She's ready to be the next Spanish drag superstar and fill theaters with drag. Well, you know what? If we had to compare her to somebody, I guess it would be Sasha Velour. Like, she's kind of giving Sasha Velour tease, which would actually be pretty good. And you know what? As designers, I do like Lena Morgan. Of course, Alaska, as in what? Alaska Thunderfuck. Vivienne Westwood, first of all, I've always been a huge fan of Vivienne Westwood's fashions. And Wes Anderson, as a director, I like a lot of his films and stuff, but I like that she wants to bring in a lot of that. Moldovar, it's spot on when they said surrealism, because Wes Anderson, Moldovar, they bring a sense of surrealism to their filmmaking. Vivienne Westwood is very much punk, in regards of her fashion sense. So I could definitely see Kelly, bringing it. I just hope that she lasts a long time when, she's on it, so we can get to see what she brings to that runway. And I do like this little weird grass look. Like it's giving Home Depot couture. But no, they do sell grass. And I'm not saying weed. So La Niña del Antro, who is from Castellón de la Plana. Now, La Niña describes her drag as a mix of beauty and grace with elements of excitement and darkness. She wants to become the next Spanish drag superstar to make her mother proud, and she's ready to have a good time. Well, I just hope that a lot of the queens that's going to be in this show don't take themselves too seriously, that they're definitely going to have a great time being a part of the show and will give us some sense of, fabulosity and energy. So let's move on to the next queen, which would be Le Coco, the House of Coco. I was thinking Coco Bon trees when I said that. But anyway, she's 28 and hails from Madrid. And Le Coco defines herself as the life of the party and the badass of the season. Her drag inspirations include the top models of the 90s, Madonna, and the theatrics of Almodovar. It's funny how like a lot of the Spanish queens are inspired by Almodovar. But anyway, because Pedro Almodovar is a phenomenal filmmaker. I'm sure, well, I don't know if a lot of you have seen his films, but definitely y'all need to check it out. And I just love his sense of like how bright his films are, how over the top his films are, and how unapologetically queer his films are. Especially the movie that he did with Pedro Pascal. And it was a little short film. I think it's still on Netflix with Ethan Hawke, and they play gay lovers, cowboys. So that's definitely a movie that I think like a lot of you guys should check out if you have not already. So I definitely see like how a lot of the queens, especially if you're from Spain, would be influenced by Almodovar and incorporate a lot of his work into what they do. Another queen we have is Mariana Stars, who is representing Venezuela. Now, Mariana is a proud Venezuelan queen, describing her country as a symbol of beauty, a lot of flavor, and sugar, or as my girl Celia Cruz would say, azúcar. Now, her drag inspirations includes Caroline Herrera, Alicia Machado, and Coco Chanel. She's ready to bring the flavor, personality, and beauty to the main stage. But we'll definitely see what she brings, especially if you're using Carolina Herrera, Alicia Machado, and Coco Chanel as your influences in the fashion world. Okay, so now we also have Meggie Yellow, who is representing, I don't know how to say that. Is it ECIJA? I don't know how to pronounce that. So I'm not going to try. So they also said dancer, singer, and actress Meggie describes herself as the queen of lip syncs and the dance floor. When the music starts, everyone trembles. She's ready to become the next Spanish drag superstar because she is a complete performer from feet to tits. Okay, well, we'll see, girl. If you bring it to the stage, if you ever have to get up there and just lip sync for your life, we'll see if you end up having to be, if you end up in the bottom quite a few times, we'll see if you become the lip sync assassin in regards to the performance. Our next queen is Miss Cristo, who is representing Madrid, and she's 31 years old. Now, Miss Cristo is the self-proclaimed fashion queen of the season. It seems like there's a lot of fashion girls this season. I'm here for it. I just hope you bros know how to sew. Because the one thing I hate about RuPaul's Drag Race is that y'all know it is a requirement for y'all to know how to damn sew. And I'm tired of girls saying, I don't know how to sew. Like if the queens over at Dragula know they got to create their damn designs from the gate, then y'all should not be thinking that y'all going to scapegoat the sewing challenges. So anyway, let's get into this situation. So she describes herself as an underground diva. She believes that there's nothing more drag than gold, luxury, excess, and passion. She's confident that her next level drag style will earn her the title of the next Spanish drag superstar. So we'll see, girl. Good luck to you. We got another queen that is giving, it's another queen that's going to be bringing the fashions, and she's a club queen type. And let's get into Portica, the club kid, who reminds me of Vivacious in a way. And I do love the whole club kid situation. Vivacious, a little bit of Lee Bowery. Is that ornation on her head? So Porca is representing Madrid. She's 39 years old, and Porca is ready to bring the club kid realness to the wild fantasy of the Drag Race España main stage. The crafty queen describes herself as a master of comedy, with drag inspirations including Divine, John Waters, The Circus, Spanish folklore, and the Housewives of Eduardo Scissorhands. Is that a real thing? They said the Housewives of Eduardo Scissorhands. Well, look, I do love kooky, fun, DIY type of drag, and I definitely hope And I'm really excited to see what Porca brings to the show. So this definitely feels like a very diverse cast this season. I'm actually liking the girls that they picked so far. The next queen is Shani LaSanta, who is 25 and representing Jerez de la Frontera. And Shani LaSanta defines her drag as a fusion of styles, highlighting her cultural roots while bringing sexiness and swagger. The self-proclaimed queen of acting is ready to leave a legacy on Drag Race España. Well, hopefully she brings a lot more than just, being the queen of acting. Because I'm sure if she has the acting challenges, she'll be able to excel at it. But I hope you could bring a whole lot more. I mean, you look fierce and your looks here. But I don't know why that high part of her head is giving much like Thorgy Thor. But she's giving glam from the neck down. But the hair is giving Thorgy Thor with a little Elvira thrown in. So good luck to you, Shani. Our next queen is Vampirasian. I think that's how you say her name. I'm like, okay. So you a vampire mixed with a Kardashian? So she's 30 and representing Valence. Valencian queen, Vampirasian, describes her drag style as elegant and classy. She is certain her runway looks will serve audiences and leaving them gagged this season. The singing and dancing queen is ready to be the next Spanish drag superstar and bring home the crown. And so that is actually the last queen that we have as part of, the situation. It's like, let's scroll on back to the beginning. I'm surprised that the photos wasn't giving me problems, but I'm like, look, everything worked today. So yeah, as I was saying before, you know what? I'm pretty excited to see what these young queens are gonna bring to the show. If you definitely want to check out the Meet the Queens, you could definitely look that up on I have it posted on my website, krisavalon.com. You can watch the whole, I think it's like 20 plus minutes, about 30 minutes, when you get to meet the queens and get to know them. But yeah, if you're interested in watching this upcoming season of Drag Race España, it premieres on, as I said before, on Wow Presents Plus on September 22nd. So are you guys excited for this upcoming season of Drag Race España? I'll tell you, I pretty much am. I was, like I said, I was a little bit worried because last season's Drag Race España, I wasn't really all that excited for it. And then this past season of All Stars, it's kind of a letdown for me in a lot of ways. Like, it was clearly like the Drag Salon show. Kind of like, it almost feels like, yeah, we go with the producers favoring certain queens and propping them. And I'm not trying to say that Drag Celeste didn't deserve her win, because she did. And she definitely did what needed to be done in regards of like the challenges and things of that nature. But it was just the way that the producers was doing. I said, okay, here y'all go with the heavy handedness with the production. So I kind of was disappointed in this season. But I do love the fact that the judges be going hard and they be having a good old time up there on that damn stage when it comes to rooting the girls on, the performances and all the other stuff, and how they at least show up to work. And when they clock in, they definitely be doing their job, unlike Rue, Michelle, and the rest of them over there that just be phoning it in at this damn point. Y'all barely even want to judge the girls on the All-Star shows, regular All-Stars and Global All-Stars. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think? Are y'all excited for this upcoming season of Drag Race España and the diversity that it seems to be bringing with a lot of the queens? It looks like it's going to be an exciting season. I just need to see a trailer to really get excited. All we've seen now is we know who the queens are. They did a Meet the Queens. As far as I know, a trailer hasn't dropped, but I'm sure within the next couple of days, because the new season is about to kick off, I believe, in 2 weeks. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh. What was that? Queen of Autotune Pop, Laura Trump. Oh God, that song was just terrible. There was dragging her on social media over that horrible ass song. Eric Andre wins his first Emmy for. I didn't even know he had a show. Is it me, or do these Latin franchises have a color? Well, look, you're not the only one that's brought that up. A lot of people been saying that the show has a colorism problem. That is like, okay, a lot of the Spanish girls, why y'all keep showing these little high yellow Spaniards? Not saying we haven't had any Afro Latinas in the past, but y'all do need to do better in regards of showing a little diversity. So it's like there's not a single brown queen on the current season of Drag Race Mexico, which upsets me. Yeah, that's that. I don't know what the problem is over there. It's like when it comes to America and all this other stuff, we tend to get a mixture of different races and stuff. But it just seems like, yeah, why is it like on the Spanish editions we're not getting a mix of different people? Mexicans don't only look a certain way. It's like I was having a conversation with this kid at work who shares the same name as me, by the way. And he was like, he's Dominican, and he was just like, um, he was surprised that like, he's always says that people are always surprised when they look at him that he speaks Spanish, and it's because of the way he looks. I said because you're brown skin, because people automatically assume that Latinos all look like you know they all look European-esque. They all look white. And it's sort of like, yeah, even with Mexico, a lot of people think Mexicans are just, they look like they're white people or whatever. They don't look indigenous. They look more Salma Hayek than they do um Tenoch Huerta. And it's like we see that there's a diversity, and when we go out in the world, especially in New York, like we see the melting pot and the diversity of different people, what they look like. But on television, it's like y'all only feel like that people who are light in passing should be the only ones that should be the representation. And this is why people have in a mindset that they always shot when you look at certain people, they be talking Spanish thinking you don't understand them, and they be trying to read you down to the floor with the racism and all that other stuff, and then you shock their ass when you read their ass back in Espanol, and they be gagging. I didn't know. Well, bitch, you should have checked the situation before you was quick to run off with your mouth. And I love when, it comes down to when you say things to people and then you make them look stupid. Because, when they say about people who assume, you make an ass out of you, and you, and you. So there's that. But I do agree, like, there needs to be far more diversity. I wonder, do people even complain about that on, do they complain about that to on social media and all the shows? I don't know if they do. I hope they are. But anyway, let's move on to our final topic, and let's talk about Dragula, which I'm pretty excited about. The other day, I saw like when I was on social media, and I saw that they posted the poster of Dragula coming back for season 6, or as they call it, season 666. Which I'm like, it's fabulous because I told her the new season. Well, we all knew the season was coming, but what I had thought was they were going to air it earlier. I know they were filming it over the summer, but I thought they were going to show it earlier and then have it finale be around Halloween, which I always thought would have been the perfect time because then you can have a big Halloween bash. You could celebrate the winner. The winner comes out and does a performance or whatever. You have the runner up. Like you could do a whole situation that would have been the perfect time to really have them do it. And then of course throughout that whole year, you do like a traveling situation around the United States and probably abroad of you doing like this headlining performance with the Boulets. So that's what I thought they were going to do, but I was wrong. That's fine. I have no problem being wrong. So it's about time, uglies. As the 6th season of the Boulay Brothers Dragula is upon us. Not only are we set to watch a new set of drag monsters vie for a $100,000 grand prize and a headlining spot on the Dragula World Tour, but the season premiere will also be 90 minutes with 1-hour shows airing weekly shortly after. We also have a full slate of judges sitting alongside hosts Drag Morta and Swantula Boulay on the upcoming season. They include Jennifer Tilly from Bride of Chucky, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Oh yeah, she's gonna be on the new season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, by the way, playing a friend of Sutton's. She has appeared on the show in the past, last season, but now I guess she's gonna be a recurring part of the show. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what she brings to the show. But yeah, she's on Bride of Chucky. I am wondering, are we getting a new season of Chucky? Because I know we were going back and forth on whether or not we'll be getting another season. I don't know about that yet, but I think Critical Overlord was talking something or another about that today, about some story about Chucky. But I got to check into that because I'm not necessarily sure if that show's coming back. They've been going back and forth with it, but I'll let you guys know if we get another season of Chucky. But anyway, so then we also have Mike Flanagan, who I actually like. He created a show called Midnight Mask, and he also Midnight Mass, sorry, and The Haunting of Hill House. 2 great shows that I love that was on Netflix. Jamie Clayton, who played Pinhead in the Hellraiser reboot. Tatiana Maslany, who I absolutely love. She's from Orphan Black and She-Hulk, which terrible show, but she was good on it. Don Mancini, speaking of Chucky, he is the creator and writer of the show. And Justin Simeon, who is from The Haunted Mansion and Dear White People. Now, other judges include David Dastmalchian. David Dastmalchian has been on Dragula pretty much every season so far, and I actually like him. And he's become kind of like this horror icon in a way. So, he's in Late Night with the Devil. If y'all have not seen that movie, definitely check that out. He was also in Dune and The Suicide Squad. He's been in a ton of movies. Also, he was in The Dark Knight. Akilah Cooper, who is the writer of *Malignant*, *Megan*, and *The Nun* 2. Joe Rob Briggs and Darcy, who are the hosts of *The Last Drive-In* with Joe Bob Briggs. Violet Chachki for RuPaul's Drag Race. Alaska Thunderfuck for RuPaul's Drag Race. Tananarive Due, who is the author of *Horror Historian*. Darren Stein, who is behind *Jawbreaker*. Matthew Coate, director of *Dead by Daylight*. Landon Sider, who won Boulet Brothers Dragula Season 3, and Neohuru X, who won last season's Dragula. So those are all the people that are going to be a part of the judges panel this upcoming season. Now, according to the logline dubbed Season 666, the next chapter of the Boulet Brothers Dragula is the most ambitious and terrifying yet, with world-renowned actors and directors joining the judges panel, raising the stakes to hellish new heights. Every episode promises spine-chilling extreme physical feats that will push the cast of drag superstars to confront their darkest fears. This 10-episode season is bigger, bloodier, and more brutal than anything that's come before, featuring expanded on-location challenges, twisted new themes for the floor shows, cinematic sequences dripping with dread, and innovative drag that will leave you with gasping. So now, as we wait for the official list of drag monsters who will be competing on season 666. The upcoming season of Dragula is set to premiere on October 1st, 2024 on Shudder and AMC+. And I will say that, as a fan of Dragula, this show cannot come fast enough, but I don't want to rush October to get here just yet because, out of all the situations that goes on, I will have to say Halloween and the month of October is like one of my favorite times of the year. I love all things horror, even though I watch horror movies pretty much all year round. But I really go hard when it comes to October. Like, I'll just be shrouding myself, engulfing myself in the classic horror films and rare gems, things I haven't seen. And, a lot of the streaming services, they definitely capitalize on it, especially if you ever go on Tubi. I know a lot of people got issues with Tubi, but Tubi definitely be having some good damn scary movies on it, even though we got to sit through them tight-ass commercials. But still, I relatively enjoy a lot of the horror movies. I saw that Drum Dum, shout out to Lee, did a review of one of the movies, I think it was called Cutting Class, with Brad Pitt. It was one of his earlier horror films. And he and I agreed. I was like, you know what? With that film, I said it was great to see Brad Pitt in his early years as an actor, but that was a one and done. I was like, this movie's stupid. And Brad Pitt being his cute little self in that movie back in the day is not enough for me to sit through that movie again. It did what it did. It was the 80s. It was cheesy, whatever. But it was just like, this script is weak as hell. And it wasn't a really good movie. But Brad was good in it. So I love, it feels like a lot of the judges have been on here before. Like, I believe Jennifer Tilly has done Dragula as a judge before. David Dastmalchian has been on the show as a judge plenty of times. Joe Bob has judged the show. I'm not sure if Darcy has, but it's good to have them on there. I believe Violet Chachki has been on there, as well as Alaska's been on there a few times too. I know Willem's done it. There's been a couple of girls from Drag Race. Tananarive Due has been on the show many a time. So, and I actually like Tananarive. If you ever, she's always been a part of the Shudder family. She's on the recent, there's one that, I forgot the name of it. I'm horrible with titles, but she is on one of the, one of the reality shows. What is it? Horror's Greatest. It's called Horror's Greatest, which is like a docu-series on a lot of like horror movies and stuff. So like episode 1, they did one on tropes and tropes and cliches. Apparently I can't read today. And giant monsters. So, there's a lot of really good things on that. And I always like when they do deep dives of like horror movies and themes and all that other stuff. It's cute or whatever. So, I tell this to say I'm definitely excited for Shudder. and Dragula, and I'm glad that there's somebody out here supporting drag outside of Drag Race, because like I've been saying many a times, I feel like collectively we need more shows that highlight different representations of drag. I know a lot of people always say like, well, drag race needs to change up and do it. Let them do what they want to do over there. Stop always wanting to complain, being like, well, drag race, because it's this big platform and it gives people so many opportunities, that we need to put so much on that show. And I feel like there needs to be people out here that maybe, you know what, go and create your own show and shop it to a network, a streaming service, and highlight the different art of drag. The drag race should not be the only thing that we should all be running to be the representation of drag. That's why I like that we have alternatives, and we should have it. And Dragula is that alternative. I like the fact that it's, you know, a cross between Fear Factor and Drag Race. Well, little Drag Race don't, but it's more like the alternative spooky drag. And it's basically like that drag you get when you go to Brooklyn. Because that's kind of like the drag they do out there. Where it's like not, they don't really do that in Manhattan. It's like you get more of the alternative, edgier drag, where it's just like, oh, you could be messy, you could be alternative, you could just pretty much do whatever you want on the stage and the kids live for it. And that's what I like about Brooklyn versus Manhattan. Manhattan, I feel like a lot of people out there are just a little snobby. Drag is a little more polished. You got to come out the gate being a triple threat, and you got to be perfect. Whereas in Brooklyn, you could be as messy, you could be as alternative, you could be as creative as you want, and the people will live for you. You can get up there and untuck your meat and show your titties on stage as a queen actually did. And I'm bringing this up because I've seen a queen do this when I was out there at Fat Slut, which was Meatball's party, who is from Dragula. It's like you can get up there and you can do all different types of drag, and the kids live for it. So I like that we have this alternative when it comes to Dragula, where it's just like they want you to push and just be different and unique, and it's celebrated. And we should be celebrating that. Drag should not be perfect. Drag should just be, you know, just be creative, try your stuff out. And if the people live for it, they live for it. If they don't, they don't. That's what I always loved about it. It reminds me of like the drag I grew up watching, you know, pre-Drag Race, when you would actually go out to the clubs and you would see the girls out here just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and we live for it because it was like that DIY drag. And I love the fact that the Boulets are doing that, and I really hope they don't lose that sense of self, just so that way they can continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That, yeah, the money may get a little, you know, they may throw a little extra money up in there for the presentation, but as long as y'all keep the essence of what Dragula is, I do feel like it could last the test of time. And I actually like the fact that they don't do so many seasons and oversaturate like Drag Race is doing right now. So I said, oh, let's say, are you guys excited for this upcoming season of Dragula? And I'm actually looking forward to when they announce who the queens are going to be, or I should say drag monsters are going to be, that are going to be on the upcoming 666 season. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have a comment. Let's go to it. I said a comment. It's like, congratulations to Joe Bob Briggs on his 7th season renewal of Last Driving. I actually like Last Driving. I be watching it sometimes. I don't watch it all the time. I try to, when I do get around to watching it, you know, he does a lot of this behind the scenes. I like how his whole little trailer park backyard barbecue type of setting that he has with them old school, you know, backyard chairs that he. I remember I used to be, when I was a kid, my grandparents had those type of chairs. So that brings back memories. And then it's like him and Darcy be sitting up in there, and he breaks down like all the behind the scenes stuff in regards of, you know, cinema and horror movies and stuff. So I do like Joe Bob's show. And I like that he is, you know, going to be on the judges panel. We'll see how he does. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head if he's actually. I feel like he's been on the show before. I could be wrong, but anyway. Okay, so we're basically at the end of the show. I told you I was going to keep it short and sweet today, even though the show still was damn near 3 hours. I didn't do a lot of topics because it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to come on tomorrow. So I was like, let me give you our show today. I will be back Tuesday with a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Of course, thank you. Thank you for giving us a late night show. This kind of takes it back to like when I used to do my show with EJ Producer, where I used to do those late night Saturday shows. But I was like, let me just give y'all some look. I was up in here. I told you I was binging from I had to get back to watching it. That's a good damn show. That and Evil. I'm look. I'm gonna promote the hell out of them shows to make sure y'all get out there and watch them because we gotta support like the underrated stuff. So yeah, if y'all have um Prime Video, definitely check out From with Harold Perrineau and the chick from Maria Full of Grace. I can't remember her name, but she's on there too. And Harold Perrineau's son, I'm like, ooh, who is that? He's a cutie. But anyway, I'm living for that show right now. I gotta watch season 2 and 3. So I'm gonna try to finish all that before the end of the month because I don't know how long these networks keep shows around. They don't be telling you. All of a sudden, I'll be trying to watch something and they be like, "Oh yeah, y'all got like you got 5 days left to watch." I was like, "What? Like you ain't even give me a chance to like catch up. Y'all just put stuff up for a month and remove it." It's the one thing I hate about streaming services. It's like, give me a minute. I know one thing. I gotta hurry up and finish watching Supernatural because I heard that Netflix is about to lose that in 2025. And I'm on season 9, I think. I got 6 more seasons to watch before they take that off forever. But anyway, so love you all for watching. I'll be back on Tuesday because I'm sure by the time Tuesday comes around, there'll be a lot of celebrity news and gossip that we can get into. Because I already know, like tomorrow, of course, all the majors are going to be talking about this Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl, and I'm sure a lot of stuff is going to come out within that time. I got to catch up on that. I think Serial Mama's on on other streaming services, but yeah, I gotta catch that too because I have not seen that movie in a long time. Excuse me, this is cocksucker residence. I remember my cousin told me that he got in trouble in school, and he was like, I think in first grade, and he would recite lines from Serial Mama. I was sitting there like, your mother let you watch that at that age? A mess. And he was like, yeah, he was like, hello, is this a cocksucker residence? Was saying that in the class. 192, fuck you. It's like, oh my God, this movie's the best. But look, Serial Mom was like one of my all-time favorites, but I've always loved John Waters. Pink Flamingos, Hairspray. I mean, Hairspray was more the bigger pop, the more popular one, but I liked all his earlier stuff with Divine, and that's I Did Live for Serial Mom. It was a crazy ass movie with Ricky Lake and Matthew Lillard playing siblings. But yeah, we'll reconvene on Tuesday with a brand new episode of Kris Unfiltered. So thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, that subscribe button. Also smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Kris Unfiltered. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all in 2 days. And until next time, as I say, ciao, darlings.